Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dungeons and Dragons Season 2, the Horror of the Dragon Tween, Episode 12, final episode. The season before we actually get back to D&D again in the next 2 months. So, what happens in Episode 12? What happened previously in Episode 11? During the battle with the possessed blue dragon that used Tyrson's body as a vessel. Is what during this time Tyrson and the Blue Dragon was trying to actually work together to trying to escape from their own prison. But however, they were unable to due to Icarus Janam, the one taking over the souls of the two unfortunate people, which is Aab'Shagua, the Blue Dragon, and also Tyrson. Nothing much that Tyrson can do inside the void because he's just a spirit. So regardless of not what he does, nothing can be done. But it was also during this point of time, Rabbitfolks, Durotan, Esmeralda, and a few other dwarf and goblins sailed the sea to actually face the dragon, but also inland. The combined might and armies of Cornelius, Zachariah, Lena, Vodu, Elgin, Rhin'zey, and others fought valiantly, bravely against the dragon. And the dragon fought with tooth and claw and lightning against the advancing small little army against it. But after a prolonged battle, it was Durotan's singing skill and Ptyei'heon's aiming with the ballista that finally took down the dragon as it crashed loudly on the hard ground below as the army quickly slash and stab and pierce it, making sure that it stays dead, but it did not, due to the fact that the dragon's body was slowly regenerating due to the power of the evil Icarus inside its spirit. But it was also here that Icarus knew that his time had come. The moment his eyes, from the dragon's eyes, saw Cornelius took the dark blade and thrust it towards the dragon's stomach, sending Cornelius to the void itself, where Cornelius took this opportunity and killed Icarus while he was slowly meditating. Injured as he is, this was Cornelius' chance to deal the last final blow to Icarus, ending the curse that befall him and the curse that befall the land, freeing himself and also freeing Tyrson from its dragon prison. The last moment then, when the dragon tears and cried with his last remaining breath, it looks into the eyes of Esmeralda. Esmeralda knew that something was wrong, but she couldn't actually determine what was happening. The dragon attacked. Yes, it did. The dragon ransacked many, perhaps towns after towns if we had the chance to. But Esmeralda didn't know what's going on. But the one that finally killed the dragon was none other but Rhin'zey, using his own dragon sword katana, known as the Dai Katana, cut off the dragon's head, ending its life permanently, as the body slowly decays and dissolves to reveal the tired, naked Tyrson lying down there in the pool of the blood that actually is drenched and sip into the grounds of vow. But as Tyrson actually lay down there, unconscious, not knowing what happened, only his soul was actually released, but the physical body was still unconscious completely. Without full able rest, the rest of the people carried his unconscious body, Varus and Elgin, making sure that Tyrson does not wake up, brought him towards Fahad, rested him, and put him into the jail cell, guarded with magical barriers and war-forged guards, which was actually provided by someone to Varus. While during that many days, Tyrson was actually recuperating. 5 days at least of unconsciousness, only trying to actually wake up, only perhaps during the 5th day. And it was during this 5th day. And it was here that during this 5th day, the others actually had a meeting to prepare Tyrson for the trials coming ahead. Meanwhile, inside Reston, one of the hobgoblin leaders that looks into Frostwolf himself was busy discussing with the now re-emerged Cornelius. He actually bowed his head to you, Cornelius, and to also look around. He turns to see the prince, or perhaps the lords of Stillpeg Mountain, Zachariah, standing there with his small little pet pseudo-dragon. Then he looks to Rhin'zey and then looks to Durotan. Oh, you shouldn't have deleted Durotan, actually.
Oh,
This
because
was
okay.
the scene that you shouldn't have done. You should have done it later.
My bad, my
Too
bad,
late.
my bad. Yeah.
You should have deleted him
Mm-hmm.
because sorry, it's too late now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. He looks to you, Durotan,
Mm-hmm.
and then he said, "I think it's time for you to actually take over Frostwolf, as was your forefathers, your parents before you took over." He passed you a cloak, the wolf cloak, and then after that, passed you the armor of Frostwolf, which you took slowly as he passed it to you. And then Hobgoblin turns, bows his head to you. Then you quickly wore the cloak over your body, the head of the direwolf on your shoulder. It's the feeling when you wear it actually makes you feel glad, but you feel as if that you're not fully ready to actually wear this piece of ornament, this piece of armor. But this man that you see, ever since your first adventure, he see you grow to be a leader that you are now. And he said that it's time for you to take over. The people of Frostwood will be waiting for your return, Durotan. Once you are done with the trial, do take your time, but don't take too much to return. Then he walks slowly towards the table to actually face Cornelius and Varus and Lena and Elgin, and also to Esmeralda and then to Ptyei'heon. He said, "It is thanks to all your effort that the people of this land have been grateful for all you have done." He bows again to all of you. And he said, "I will lead the hobgoblins of the land, but we will not interfere with trade. But they have pledged their loyalty to me, and I will pledge my loyalty to you. If you will need any help or any assistance, we will be there." Then he turns to you, Durotan, and said, "The orcs and the goblins will listen to your command now, Durotan. Make them proud. Make them listen to you like how your father was, how your mother was, when you were still a young orc babe."
I will do my very best not to disappoint anyone. I will lead my people the same way my forefathers have led them, with honor and courage in our heart. Our clan may be small, but together we will be strong with everybody here. I pledge my loyalty and that of my clan for this beautiful friendship that has been formed with everyone.
Say yes, as is spoken, wise like a true leader. Then he walks over to Zachariah. Zachariah, he bows to you slowly and said, "You should take over from your father, Zachariah. Your father is old and would need an heir to lead the dwarves of Steelpack." You stood there, you looked at the hobgoblin, Zachariah, your axe on your shoulder.
When the time comes, I will lead.
For now, I shall settle things before my eye.
Yes, the trial will begin soon after all the things done. Then he turns to you, Rhin'zey, the hobgoblin. The hobgoblin that you met months ago, almost a year ago, when you actually went to Frostwolf. He was there when you arrived. The hobgoblin looks to you, Rhin'zey, and he said, "It's a pity that his wife burned to the ground, Lord Rhin'zey. But with Varus' help, he would make your people grow. He will make the Tabaxi great again." Rhin'zey stood there quietly, didn't say a word, just nod. Okay, since you're not role playing, I'm gonna skip. And then okay, and Hobgoblin then talk to Elgin. Elgin bows his head. "Oh no, we'll be fully grateful for every Varus assistance, if not because of Varus and also Rhin'zey and the others, Lina especially." Elgin looks down on the halfling as she sat there, still angry, saddened of Christopher's death. But Lina then looked up to Elgin. She just smiled, and Elgin and Lina bowed to the hobgoblin, and then they said, "We will also pledge our people and our lives to make sure that this alliance will not be fully be broken and tainted." Then the hobgoblin walks over to you, Cornelius, and said, "Ah, the great lost prince, the young Prince Cornelius. Your father will be proud. Your father, I believe, do not even know that you're here. But news has spread, Cornelius. News has spread so fast that you are now here in Redstone, alive. I can tell you one thing, that the riders of the South would be here as soon as perhaps when the moment we speak, or the moment we actually end this conversation." Goblin speaks. Then you stood there, a hand on your blade, your cloak over your head, your face turned. What do you say, Cornelius?
Despite me
I-
having been hello, can you hear me?
Now can.
Yes, I have been gone, but I'm not lost. Although I was once being cursed as a rabbit folk, and everyone so much as belittle my being, but now I, as a human, back to my normal self, I shall do what is right and make sure that none of this shall happen again. No more this ordeal, no more this tragedy. I pledge my name and in the name of my father and the name of Titania, I will make sure that no such thing will happen again under my ruling.
He bows to you after you said that, Cornelius. He said, "Yes, I see that you soon to grow to be a great leader, a king among kings, perhaps. But until that day come, I will pledge my loyalty to you, Cornelius. Just say the word, and I will be there. All of us will." Then he walks over to Varus. Varus bowed, shook his hand. Varus then speaks. The moment that I arrived at Frostwood and saw that ugly orc over there, Durotan, Varus looked at you, Durotan, and just smiled.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that our adventures would be short, perhaps a meaningful one. But the moment I saw you, I knew that one day we would pass from mantle and leadership, perhaps even to him. Perhaps this was a test all along, but who am I to judge? But I would also lead my men to assist Durotan, Rhin'zey, Elgin, Nina, even Cornelius, if the time comes. But not everybody actually see to our actions eye to eye. There are others perhaps plotting as we speak. The damages that have been done to many of the villages has been dying. But we will rebuild and be stronger together. Then the hobgoblin spoke. "Indeed, Varus. Indeed, I see that you will be a great leader too. But just like your father before you, I see great things coming further ahead." Then the hobgoblin then turns to look at Esmeralda and then Ptyei'heon. Then hobgoblin looks at Esmeralda. Ah, the young Esmeralda. I do not know much about your story, but due to your assistance together with Ptyei'heon, I heard many things about. I hope that you would be willing to stay longer here together with Varus and rebuild this place, make it stronger, perhaps imparting your knowledge to the young children of this village, perhaps one day. He looks to you, Esmeralda.
She's like got her face full. She's eating pizza. It's like, yeah. She has to get like pull out a handkerchief that's embroidered to wipe her face like gently, and she goes, yes. It's like, and she looks around. It's like, perhaps this place does need a more of a feminine touch. Seems and she looks around and sees the bookshelf behind her all covered in cobwebs and dirt. It's like, perhaps these people need to be more in touch with civilization and learning, and maybe I could teach them a little thing or two about soap. So yeah, I might stay here for a while.
Varus looks to you, Esmeralda, and then he just chuckled and said, I do apologize about the books behind you. Yes, those were my grandfather's and my grandfather's father before him. Old wizardry books. I never really got the chance to actually read them. And ever since I found them in an old tower behind Reston, we've actually decided to actually bring it down here. Perhaps if you're free, you can actually look into it. My expertise into wizardry isn't that great. I am a sorcerer by trade, but perhaps you and me can learn a thing or two, Esmeralda. Varus actually speaks to you. But do enjoy the pineapple pizza. It's one of our best.
Yeah, she's enjoying it. It's like, pineapple pizza, you say? It's quite strange that you would make a food shaped like a circle, then cut it into triangles, then serve it on a square. But, yeah, I mean, I've eaten stranger people. I mean, things.
Pineapple does goes on pizza.
Yeah.
And while you were enjoying the pizza, the Hobgoblin looks to Ptyei'heon, and then he bows his head to you, Ptyei'heon. Then he said, your aim is true. Such a beautiful person, such as yourself, shouldn't handle a ballista. You should be holding a blade, at least. Not that crude mechanism that you're holding right now.
I'm not all that good if that's what I call that. But
and you're like mumbling, and after he trying, and the Hobgoblin looks at you like, what? Are you trying to say something? I can't hear you.
Sorry, I'm not really used to such honors. I thank you for such compliments. Yeah.
Shy. Aw, shy.
Then after that, the Goblin looks at you all. I'll take my leave. Another person that perhaps is outside the hall itself, I think want to have another audience. I will take my leave. Then after he just walks away, opens the door, and then head out. Meanwhile, as you're on the table, thinking what to do, Tyrson is still in his jail cell, guarded by the Warforged guards of Reston. But now, I'm going to be moving from right all the way to left, from Zachariah to Durotan to Rhin'zey all the way to Ptyei'heon. Now, Zachariah, one roleplay action to you. You can take as long as you want. What do you want to do?
I just
Put your foot on the pie, or what?
I put my hand on the table.
Oh, okay.
Oh Lord, I changed my what first?
Your pseudo dragon is like, aho. I mean, sorry, wrong.
Lol, what?
It's a parrot?
Probably want a cracker.
Okay, Zachariah, what do you do?
He put his hand on the table and said, shall we proceed? I am lack of patience here.
Okay, Durotan, you?
For Durotan, he basically looks at everybody and say,
We need a trial. This cannot go unpunished. The death and carnage need to be answered.
Okay, and then Rhin'zey, your turn.
Hawk, let's start.
All right, Elgin looks to the three of you. Yes, I believe we should. The crowd is actually ready gathering right now in the courtroom. So I believe that we should actually bring our old friend for a discussion. We really need to actually get some answers out of him. Lena then looks to Elgin and then looks to Cornelius and he said, yes, I believe we should. And then Cornelius, what do you say?
Our what's the name for the crap? I actually couldn't remember the name. Has our prisoner awakened from his slumber?
Varus looks to you, Cornelius. Perhaps we should actually pay him a visit, Lord Cornelius. He should have been awakened after 5 days of constant rest on the dark floor. And
Yes,
what
there's
food?
no point. There's no point of judging someone if they are unconscious. It's the same as judging a dead. We should make sure that he is alive and able to defend for himself in such trial. At least I
Varus
would
laughed.
like to know.
Yes, I agree with you, Cornelius. There's no point judging someone unless they're dead. But he is already dead. He doesn't breathe. You must remember, he's a Dhampir. We don't trust the supernatural lands. Then he turns to Esmeralda. And how about you?
Esmeralda's just like, can someone please think of the children?
Oh God.
What children? What children?
Someone please think of the children.
Oh lord.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
all the
Lovejoy.
orphans and yeah.
Okay,
And-
Ptyei'heon, and lastly you.
Well, I do agree with Fairchild should need to be really should understand why he didn't. the things
Okay,
he
it's so
did,
hard to
even-
hear you. It's like as if that you're really eating pizza right now
Hello?
and trying to role play at the same time.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you. Just raise your voice.
Right. We really should have this a more fair trial, so just so that we can understand the decision behind his actions, and we can't simply judge a person by how their blood flows, even if it does or doesn't, and by their looks.
I agree with Ptyei'heon, but I do want to know what his reason behind it. At least before the harsh judgment, I would like to know his reason before setting down the final judgment.
Zachariah interrupt. I hope your words is true, because my anger do not reside unless he's dead.
Patient, my friend, patient. All things considered, we should at least hear his side of the story. No point judging someone if we don't even give them a reason to fend for themselves. Patient, and I will assure you, you will have your revenge. But for now, we need to know what is going on and knows that such things is not to be judged hastily. If anything, I just wish to know the truth behind it before we give our final judgment. Do you agree, Lord Various?
Varus looks to you. Well, I agree. Perhaps we should actually pay our prisoner a visit before actually bringing over to the courthouse.
Yes, we should.
Okay. Who is going over to the Reston jail at it now?
Esmeralda will go.
Okay. Alright.
I'll go too.
The guard opens the door for whoever is moving there to talk to Tyrson. Okay, you move your character to the jail cell itself.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Esmeralda, who else? Okay, Rhin'zey. Okay, Cornelius? No.
Yeah, can also. I just need to know that what the F is going on. I'll put myself here. I'm so tiny. I'm very tiny. I'm very tiny.
I'll go
Where are you? Why you take out another character?
Is that already there? Am I already there? I don't know.
No.
I was wondering why you didn't drag your character
at the table.
Why you didn't drag a character from the table?
It was a mini Cornelius there.
For me, Durotan will go to make sure that his buddy and combat brother in arm Rhin'zey
Sorry, I thought it was another scene. Sorry, I thought it was another scene. I thought it was another
Oh,
scene. That's
no,
why I
no,
broke
no,
it out.
no. The jail is here.
Esmeralda will take over some food. Could you fix up that special tray Factory added?
Who, me?
Well, yeah.
Herbert has to check it out. I don't have access of it right now. I don't have
Oh,
access of
okay.
it right now because I'm using my own account. I'm not using Herbert's account.
Oh, okay. The special tray.
Whoa, Rhin'zey in the jail.
Why is Rhin'zey doing inside the jail?
I think we all should all be concerned.
Everyone is in the jail with me. He's like, oh, okay.
Oh, wait, are we walking in there or being on the outside of the bars?
Actually, I can remove the bars, but it's better that you just stand there. Not that Tyrson can do anything anyway.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Okay, Tyrson, you see an unknown person behind you. It's like wearing some sort of, it's like cloak or gown. You're not too sure what it is, but Rhin'zey, Durotan dressing up differently, stood there, and another lady they never seen before. But the moment actually like stood there, Rhin'zey and Durotan actually asked the guards to actually carry you out and drag you towards the courtroom, as they were actually seeing you wearing nothing else but rags. But also at the same time, you try to actually regain your strength, but it's quite difficult. Without food and water, they actually made sure that you only had minimal amount of water and minimal amount of food. So actually put your strength and condition at the lowest possible, but not to the point of killing you. Afraid that you might suddenly change into a dragon again.
Honestly, I don't really need to eat. So.
Right.
Esmeralda walks in and it's like pish posh to all of that, and she walks in with a full plate of food with pizza, pie, cookies, and a jug of milk on it.
Oh, cookies! Thank you. I
Yeah,
pop over
dearie.
to grab one.
You'll need your strength for what is ahead of you.
Oh yes.
You may have to roleplay less enthusiastic and more weaker. Okay.
Food, yum.
Nom 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 nom.
Yum, 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 yum. Cookies. I want to eat everything on the plate, include the milk.
Right.
So
this young lady that you never met before suddenly just passed you pizza, cookies, and milk, and then after you just took everything and just ate it. Rhin'zey looks at you. It's like different. You turn to see either he's actually have a face of disgust or he's smiling, and I'm sure. Okay, Rhin'zey, what do you do?
All wrath in my eyes says, "You will be brought to justice for what you have done." That is all I will have to say.
of course, I will tell everything to you. It's all good, Rhin'zey. Calm down. Don't rely on your
In my heart,
aggressive lioness. It's all good. I'll explain everything.
no mercy in my heart personally, but the law takes stand, and the law will bring justice to you, to us, and the entire realm.
Of course. The law will protect you, Rhin'zey, if you rely on it. So as I rely on it too, because I'm a paladin. You probably won't know that.
Alright, Cornelius, you see Rhin'zey actually looking at Tyrson, saying that the law will deal with you. Now it's your turn.
Yes, the law will be the judge of it. But for now, I just want you to know, Tyrson, whatever you say, I hope that it is through the words of
The truth?
truth.
Of
It is
course. Of course.
Yes,
There's no deception here. There's the saying, if you say the truth and it leads to your death, that is honor. Look out
Yes.
to when I say that. I look out to Rhin'zey. Even the truth means everything. But thank you for giving me sustenance. Thank you. By the way, I didn't get your name. What is your name? The person who gave me food.
The person who gave me.
She turns around and does lifts up her dress a bit and does a slight curtsy and say,
Lift up the dress? Oh, okay.
No, you know how to curtsy.
Yeah.
Up so when they
grab the edges
kneel
of the dress
down, yeah, so the dress doesn't hit the dirt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So kneel down a bit and say, "Oh, my name is Esmeralda, bringer of the light, child of Baba Yaga."
Ah, nice.
That's your
Pull Esmeralda away. She's getting too excited.
I bow. My name is Tyrson.
Yeah.
Son
Tyrson
of-
Tyrson is still
You dirty,
Tyrson.
dirty
He can't handle stop looking at beautiful women.
Wait, also,
Die
wait,
anyway,
wait,
so you might as well make it count.
we're forgetting one important thing. He's taking the whole child of Baba Yaga really well.
Okay. All right. Lastly, Durotan. You see Rhin'zey, Cornelius, and Esmeralda talking to Tyrson. While you're actually outside looking at Tyrson, what do you do?
He basically, I walk over and enter. Technically, I'm here actually behind the bars. I just basically say this to Tyrson.
Tell me, Tyrson, did it mean nothing to you? Our friendship, all those times we stayed under the stars, was it all?
That sounds
fake
okay.
or
That
real?
sounds okay.
Yes.
I turn around saying
Hmm.
to Durotan, that sounds pretty weird. But
But Cordelia just looking at Durotan and said, "You sing that way?"
Yeah.
fair
Oh
enough.
my god. They
Okay,
came together
Rhin'zey,
under the moonlight.
Rhin'zey, Cornelius, and Durotan. Roll for it. Roll for insight with advantage, and Esmeralda roll for insight only.
Wait,
Okay.
wait, me as well?
Yeah.
Okay. One moment.
Insight.
Insight with
Sorry.
I have
advantage.
18. I have 18, Herbert.
Okay, 18. Yeah, I saw that. Oh,
Oh,
man.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Let's roll
18.
1 and 18.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, Esmeralda 11. Okay, Esmeralda just wondering, this man is gonna die soon, and he's still cracking jokes. But for Rhin'zey, I think it's either Rhin'zey is like 16. Okay, everything passed, everybody passed. Rhin'zey, Cornelius, and Durotan. Even though Tyrson has been gone, consumed by the dragon, and dissolved completely naked after all that, even after all this time, he's weak. And he's probably gonna be either banished, dead, or what. But he sounds like the same Tyrson that you know. That the same person that you have been traveling with all this time. But either that he's happy, being very happy-go-lucky, or you're unsure. You're unsure. But maybe more will be revealed during the trial itself, when the jury and the prosecutors will be listening to him say what he has to say. But the guards took him away, and the rest of you followed. And then when you reach the courtroom, you see a number of people on the left, on the right. One of various jesters was actually keeping the crowd pleased with its jokes and perhaps silly mannerism. But you took your seat further up ahead, Elgin already preparing to ask questions to his old companion Tyrson. Tyrson slowly being dragged by the soldiers, but not mishandled, nicely taken away, making sure that he stood there. But everybody else, juries and the others, looking in, people that Tyrson met throughout his adventures, throughout his journey, all preparing to actually hear what he has to say. In the courtroom itself, Esmeralda, you actually helped serving cookies and milk to the others, actually just waiting, moving around, walking around, and serving them food and drinks. Well, actually, because you just want to be here to actually listen to society story. But you see a number of people here in this halls that is going to be listening, and mostly going to go either against or with Tyrson. to either make sure that was it really his fault, or was it his fault that caused all of this to actually happen. Then, as everybody just said, the court proceedings itself, Varus actually stood up. He looked to Cornelius, to Durotan, to Zachariah, and to Rhin'zey. Then Varus then speaks up. Everyone, we have the culprit here right in front of us, Tyrson, Bjorn of Vow. He was instrumental in destroying Caesar's Rome, a number of dead Leonin and Tabaxis in his hands alone, and also the number of people that have killed our soldiers, our beloved men and women that joined to pick up arms against his tyranny. But the tyranny of dragons need to end right now. And apparently, there are witnesses here that said that Tyrson was the one that actually led the cult of the dragons to actually attack the poor people of Caesar's Rome. But with me right now, sitting here, looking at the rest of you, those will be asking questions to Tyrson. On my furthest right is Rhin'zey of Caesar's Rome, taking over mantle and leadership of Caesar's Rome from his old mentor, the old leader. And Zachariah, the crowned heir of Steelpack Mountains. He is also unhappy due to the death of his old companion Christopher Belmont under the hands of the cult of dragons, being led by this man, Tyrson Bjorn of Vow, that transformed into the dragon. And the cult itself were fanatics that followed his every command. If he were to say kill, they would kill. If they were to say flee, they would flee. However, their orders were to kill. And to my left, the lost prince of Ptyei'heon, Cornelius the Spear. Whereas this very moment, the Lord himself will send men to arrest him, to bring him home.
I would say.
Then before you could even say anything, the guards actually like slap you in the face and make you only speak when you are asked to speak, knave. You couldn't say anything. The moment you're about to say something, Tyrson, they stop you. Varus just looks to you and they smile. You only are supposed to say. When you're about to say something again, the guards stop you. And then after that, Elgin then slowly walks. Tyrson, only speak when you're allowed to. Otherwise, I would have to cast a cone of silence on you. And you'll only be allowed to speak when I allow you to speak. Don't force me, Tyrson.
I give him a nod.
Elgin then just walks and looks at you. Spell ready to be cast, just in case. Then Varus said, I apologize, everyone. It seems our prisoner is so insistent and want to speak. You have your chance to speak, Tyrson, but until I finish, only I'll let you speak next. Then Varus turns, and we have Lord Durotan of Frostwolf, the mantle given to him by his old mentor. He'll be leading the orcs and goblins in order to help us also in anything that would actually befall the lands. Now, we will commence, and then Varus and Cornelius, Durotan, Zachariah, and Rhin'zey sat on the chair. Then Elgin then walks over to you, then Tyrson, then he speaks. No, Tyrson, only speak when you're allowed to speak, and you should not speak over those that will ask a question. Once they have done asking you the question, only then you reply. If any of the audience here that you know that might help you, you can ask for their help to see if they can actually assist. Otherwise, the verdict will fall to the 5 people behind me on what would happen to you. And Elgin Then looks to you again, Tyrson, his eyes piercing this time. Don't force me, old friend. I do not want to put my hands on your fate. I would rather let the fate of the land actually see your home. Then he walks, Elgin being neutral in all this. He will stand there, listening to what you say. Then, Varus stood up. Then he says, now, I would let Durotan of Frostwolf to speak first. Questions, then it's answers. Durotan, do you have any question to Tyrson?
Yes, I do. How long you and those cultists been working together? How long this corruption has been happening?
And that, yeah, that's it.
May I speak?
Elgin looks to you. Yes, you may speak, Tyrson.
So, what I am about to tell you, Durotan, you need to have an open mind. Okay? So, when I talked to you on that dreadful, overcast day, it was part of my plan. You remember that, Durotan?
Remember you said you have a plan, but you never told us what was it. Not me, Rhin'zey, not everybody.
I agree. And did I say probably over the howling of the wind and overcast, I am the chosen one? Did I say that?
Yes, but what was your point? Why?
Okay. Alright. So, I read the situation. There was... Find the corruption in the land, because you notice areas, part of pockets were getting corrupted. Is that correct? I turned to what's his name? Elgin. Is that correct?
Roll for persuasion. You need to pass 3 times.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the truth, but okay.
It's okay. This is quite low. Just roll persuasion 3 times. Okay, pass. Pass.
Ooh.
Pass. Elgin looks at you, Tyrson, and they said, yes. He is telling the truth.
So,
nobody's saying hearsay. Hearsay!
From what
Overruled.
Esmeralda can tell with her eye, is he telling the truth?
Okay. Then you need to roll for insight 3 times.
Oh no,
If you
it's
pass
Esmeralda's ability from Grandmother's Touch. She can just know if someone's telling the truth or a lie. It's no save, no roll. She just does it with Baneful Eye. Although, if you wanted to, if good-hearted folks see her with the eye, they can attack her. So, it's up to you if you want the courtroom to run up and attack
Esmeralda when her eyes turns yellow.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
one of the Tabaxis here. They look at Esmeralda. It's like, your eyes turning yellow. Do you need some eye more with that?
It's like pink eye, but yeah, it's amber eye. The D&D.
He got pink eye. Don't stare his eyes. No.
It's deadly for a beholder.
Okay. You stay at Elgin. You stay at Tyrson. Yeah, he's telling the truth about that. But sadly, your words cannot be used in court.
No, Esmeralda just wants to watch everything and note it down,
Yes.
because Barbarian will want to know what will be happening.
Yeah. So you know, that still could be Baba Yaga in disguise.
So I had to, afraid to say,
No.
I had to say all those things to get close to the core of the corruption in the land. And when I found on that dreadful day with the cultists, what I was talking about was a load of garbage to find out more information about the cultists, because I am not in league with the cultists. But my faith as a paladin protects me, because I'm here today to explain the corruption of these lands. So I got closer, I put my hand into the pot, because the lead cultist was, what's the word, persuasive, and I wanted to know more information about how this corruption got here in the first place. So I did put my hand into the pot, not knowing what was going to happen. So when I did, my will of my body got transformed into that dreadful dragon. At a time, I had trouble controlling. I felt possessed. But knowing my wisdom and my soul will be protected. On this day, I decided to dig a little bit deeper to find more corruption in this land. And so I have. That dreadful cultist revealed himself. A few days later, I had no control over the dragon. I was actually fighting against the cultists, and for a brief time I had control of the dragon, and I tried to save who I could on that dreadful day in the Rhin'zey's town. But the core corruption I have revealed to me, I look to Varys and smile.
Okay, Zakaria.
Let me come in. Suddenly, Zakaria dropped his axe heavily to the ground. What nonsense are you talking about? You have murdered people! You become the evil one! I'm really losing my patience listening to your whatever crap. Damn!
I turn to Zakaria. Do you want to have justice? Do you want to make sure you get the right person? Or
yes, I will.
Yeah. So please let me speak, and everything will be revealed to you.
In such a slow pace, I'm losing my patience. He picked up the axe and sit back. You have few more moments.
So,
then before that, Cornelius, your turn to answer.
I was like just uneasy because Zakaria is being angry, and it's like I'm trying to be neutral here, so it's like, tell me, what more can you offer us? This truth.
Roll for wisdom saving. Roll for wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh damn! I think
So far, so good. Ooh.
What happened?
So nothing.
Okay. Tell me, Tyrson, I would like to know the truth from you. All of them. Tell me all of them. I will make sure that this trial goes as fair as possible, but you have to tell me the truth. I can't give you a fair judgment if there's no if that is not the full truth that you speak of. Tell me. So who are the culprit that you speak of? Who are the one that put you into such position to make you into such monstrosity? I know what happened to me, but I want to know what happened to you. Do you suffer the same fate as me? Or do you have some other agenda of your own?
I
Girls
bow.
are quite suspicious.
I bow to Cornelius to be respectful. I have no agenda. I just want this evil to be gone from these lands and look after my town. But I look to Varys. In the when I was like about to say some, do you know of the planes? Of the different realms? Cornelius, Durotan, and Rhin'zey. I turn to I turn to
Varys, Zaka.
no,
Elgin is it?
yeah, Elgin. I'll turn to Elgin. You know of the planes. So when I was there to do my little research, how far and who's connected to this evil blight on the lands, I found Varys was in league with the dreadful what's his name? Sorry, lost my name.
Icarus?
Icarus, yes. In league with Icarus. And
Elgin looks to you and said, "And what proof do you have of this? If it's just you saying it out without any proof, how are you going to prove it?" Durotan, Cornelius, Zachariah, and Rhin'zey roll for insight with disadvantage on this because they are saying that Varys is in league. Okay, fail. Okay, fail. Okay, you all don't believe Tyrson. Because how? Varys was with you all this time.
Mm-hmm. Basically, Durotan like smacks the armchair in anger because this is like insulting his combat buddy.
Okay, Rhin'zey, I'm giving roleplay opportunity. Tyrson is telling that Varys is in league with the Cult Dragon and Icarus. You will think to yourself, how is that even possible? Varys has been with you all this time, and he was there to actually assist you to actually fight the dragon and the cult. Killing the cults of the dragon himself. What you want to say? You, Zachariah, Cornelius, and Durotan don't believe? I'll give you the roleplay opportunity, then go to Zachariah, then Cornelius, then Durotan. Okay, Rhin'zey, you first.
What proof do you have of this? What proof?
I, at the moment, don't have proof. But if I have enough time, now my target has set, I can prove it to you. But it just takes time. If you decide to execute me, you won't ever know what actually happened. But if you give me a chance, prove my case, and see, because what do you think? Like, I hope I realize you don't believe me because you want proof, physical proof, the proof you want is in a different plane. You can't go there, Durotan. You can't go there, Rhin'zey.
Say silence. As I say, you are just stalling to prolong your life. It will do you no good to tell of any falsehood or lies. If I were you, I'd choose my words correctly. I'd choose my next moves correctly. And wisely. Otherwise, this trial will come to a swift end, and your death will even be swifter. If there's any more falsehoods that will come out of your mouth, I will make sure that this entire courtroom knows to no reasonable what's the word? Something doubts. You know when you have to in a criminal trial, you have to prove something beyond something. What is it? Reasonable doubt.
I turn to Rhin'zey. You probably know what I am. Does everyone in this courtroom know what I am?
To be honest, even if I did, I wouldn't care. What you have done to my people and my lands, that cannot be forgiven, ever.
I agree. But I was in control of the dragon at a time. I tried to fight it every time, and when Cordelius came in the transformation into the rabbit, was a life sent. I am grateful of you to help me, Cordelius, of my investigation of this corruption in this land. Well, to make it all clear in this courtroom, yes, I am a Dhampir. Do you know what a Dhampir is bred for? Does anyone know in this courtroom?
Roll for lore, roll for lore, all of you.
You mean history, Herbert? You mean history?
Oh, history. Yeah.
I'm assuming Esmeralda would already know, right?
Esmeralda will roll with advantage.
Oh, okay.
Aab'Shagua, I have all the books.
Okay,
advantage or normal roll?
No, only advantage. Advantage only for Esmeralda. Advantage only for Esmeralda.
Oh, okay.
Because she's read all the books.
Okay, Cornelius, you know what a Dhampir is, the son of a vampire. But because you rolled your insight roll just now, you also don't trust Tyrson. But because Rhin'zey's passed it due, okay, Zachariah, your turn to roleplay.
Okay, this now I roll wisdom saves 22, so currently he's calm, but this is his words. Listen here, Tyson. You already dishonored your family. Please be straightforward, and based on so far what I heard, Zachariah looked at Varus and Cornelius. You two seem...
Varus, turn to you. You two what?
Are you two in league? He looked at them suspiciously. I admit I do not believe this, whatever he calls himself, that Bjorn. But since he named both of you, what do you both say? For I believe not a single person can control a dragon or a cow.
Varus turns to you, Zachariah. Well, let me ask those that actually witnessed it themselves during that time. Durotan and Rhin'zey. And I believe those sitting down right now, the crowd, there was also present there. I can tell you one thing, Zachariah. Do you think somebody like me have the power to control a dragon? I wish. If I have the power to control Tyrson and control a dragon, would I need you? Roll for insight. Zachariah? He's telling the truth. He's telling the truth, saying that, yes, if he can control a dragon, why would he need you? Obviously, he can't control a dragon. But Varus then turns to you, Zachariah. But
actually,
I see.
like I say, he don't trust but he just point them out because he named both of them. That's all.
Yes. But it turns to you. You are angry, of course, because of dragon and the cult. Would I actually seek you out, Zachariah? You should know that yourself. Then it turns to Cornelius. Then it turns to Durotan. Durotan, you were there that time. Would you believe that I would have the power to actually control a cult? Or even a dragon? He laughed.
Durotan just simply look at Varus and just simply say to him,
If you had the power to control a dragon, maybe you have saved us time. You know, transporting us from one place to the next instead of sleeping on the open.
He basically tried to make light of the situation, saying, if Varus is that powerful, maybe he should have used it for, you know, like helping them, moving them from one place to the next, and, you know, the regular joking about the whole thing, basically.
Yes. Baron returns to Rhin'zey. Rhin'zey, friend. Do you believe what Tyrson said, that I am in league with the cult of the dragons and able to control a dragon? Me. This frail human me. Controlling a dragon. What say you, Rhin'zey? Do you believe him?
About whether I believe him or not, you are not on trial. However, if it is true, then there might be other events that will come. But today it's not about you. It is about Tyrson. And I do not see the relevance of what he has to say when he connects you to the corrupted. There will come a time. But it is not about you today.
Yes.
Agree.
The ones on trial is him, not me. Then Varus turns to Cornelius. Cornelius, I seek you out, old friend. And yet Tyrson is the one here in trial. He was the one that changed into the dragon. He was the one that burned down Cheesy's wall and killed all those Leonin. And children, too. The women and the children, Cornelius. Would I do such a thing? No. If I have control over a dragon, I would be controlling it by my own needs, making sure that it cannot destroy all of your village. He speaks out, his voice boomed in a courtroom.
I just say that I just acknowledge his words, but I speak to Tyrson. Tell me, Tyrson, I would have believed you if you said Icarus, but why Varus of all persons? Surely you have your reason. Why wouldn't you name me? Why wouldn't you name Durotan?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Why not the others?
Why? Tell me, Varus. Not tell me, Tyrson. Surely you have your reason why you named Varus of all the person. Why not me? Like you said earlier, like Zachariah said earlier, you and I, we are sort of an acquaintance because of our past experience with you and I. But yet you mentioned Varus instead of me, instead of Durotan, Rhin'zey, even Zachariah. All of us here. There's the person that you know, you could have named them, but why would you only name Varus? Surely you have your reason. Tell me, and I will try, and I will buy my power proof that what you say are true. But you have to tell me the truth, Tyrson. Why would you only name Varus?
Elgin speaks out, and why not me?
Yes, why not even Elgin? Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention that, but yes.
And then you hear the crowd, Tyrson. You heard the crowd. Okay, Cornelius, roll for persuasion with advantage plus 2 bonus.
I can't see. It's lagging on my side.
Okay, persuasion. 8. Another 1.
14, 16. Just 16.
The crowd started to actually murmur and they started talking to themselves. Yes, you can hear the crowd actually talking. Yes, it's true. Only Varus. Does he have something against Varus? You hear the crowd talking. And then after that, you hear one lady actually speaks out at the other end. And then after that, you see Andraste and say, yeah, I was there that night. Young Cornelius, you were not. I was there that night with Durotan, with Rhin'zey, and others. They were there. I saw it myself. That Tyrson speak out loud that he was the chosen one, and he dipped his hand into that pot that changed him into the dragon. If you were there, Cornelius, if you were there, you would have really changed your mind. Hence the reason why I journeyed together with Durotan. I wanted to see it for myself. Who have the purest of heart among all of them? Rhin'zey have one. Durotan have one. Sure. Perhaps Durotan and Rhin'zey, perhaps Durotan and Tyrson was there that night in my tower. I gave them everything. I gave my knowledge. I gave them my heart too. But it's quite obvious that it seems that Tyrson is obviously targeting only one person. And it's true, everyone. Why only Varus? And Rusty said, why not everybody? Why not Durotan? Why not Rhin'zey or Bayang or Waruay? If they were here. And also, Esmeralda, you turn to Varus, you turn to Andraste. They are both telling the truth.
So I turn to everyone.
You need to answer Cornelius first, then you answer to everybody.
Yeah. So I asked Cornelius. So, I have nothing against Varus, but the evidence I have seen with my own eyes points to him and the
Varus.
Your own eyes, Elgin. Your own eyes, Tyrson. Elgin speak. What is to say that it was some hallucination? You were inside a dragon. How would Varus be inside a dragon when it was only you? Elgin speaks out.
Can Cornelius cut in? Can Cornelius cut in?
Can.
Yep.
Elgin, forgive my interruption, but I do. I do know, right, that I was able to go into the conscious, right? Although I'm fucking blinded by my rage, I'm very sure that I'm able to recall at least when I see the dragon and Icarus and Tyrson there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I say that I have to stop you there, Elgin. As you can see, before I was turned back to my human form, my rabbit form was able to enter into that space, as like quote unquote space that Tyrson speak of, and I do see the dragon and Icarus there. Although I was blinded by my own rage that I unfortunately killed our only suspect to be able to put on trial, but needless speak of, I was able to enter to the void that Tyrson speak of.
Elgin looks to you, Cornelius. And how are you able to actually enter the dragon? Everybody else roll for Rhin'zey, Zakaria, Durotan roll in Esmeralda roll inside on Cornelius. Okay, Zakaria have questions. Ptyei'heon have big questions already. Okay, Rhin'zey have questions. How? Durotan is like, huh?
Unsure, basically.
Yeah, unsure. Esmeralda is like, how? Yeah, unsure also. Okay. Let Elgin start first with the roleplay. Then you go to Rhin'zey, then after Elgin and Ptyei'heon ask the question. How is it even possible? Elgin looks to you, Cornelius. How? Are you in league with the Cult of Dragons, Cornelius? I hope you are not. How are you able to enter the void without anything? Are you in league with this man? Are you in league with Tyrson? Are you in league with the cult? How are you able to enter? Now, Ptyei'heon, is your turn to answer. How? Why? How and why? Okay, Ptyei'heon is just quiet. Okay, now Rhin'zey, your turn.
Rhin'zey.
Cornelius, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Alright, I turn to Cornelius. Is this true?
I swear by my name as the Prince of Titania, I do not lie. I do not lie under this very roof beneath me. And the people around here, I do not lie. I speak so for myself, and I will tell you how I did it. But only if you ask me of it.
Okay.
Do it.
Right. Zachariah, you? Cornelius said he was able to actually enter the void and see Tyrson inside. I'm gonna roleplay this.
This explains why Tyson's mentioned your name. Now this will be impressive. He put his holding his axe and put at his chin. Now continue, please.
Varus looks to you, Cornelius. How? My friend, Cornelius, how are you able to enter? Are you in league with them? I hope not, my friend. Otherwise, this trial will be for naught. It will be useless to them. I do not want to see us against each other.
It's like I just make a small chuckles.
Roll for wisdom
Varus.
saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh, me. Okay, damn it.
Yeah,
1,
your dark blade
2,
blooms.
5.
Mhm.
Whee! I say that.
You are
Varus-
angry. You reply
like
back
Varus-
to Varus.
Yeah. How dare you?
How dare thou question me? Lol. No. I didn't say that. I was like Varus. It's like funny of you to speak of that. If I were to be in league of it, I wouldn't even help you in the first place, don't you think? It's like I start to like feel a bit like the darkness in the blade is like, you see, funny how all this thing works out. It was thanks to my little friend over here. Like I'm pointing at Esmeralda. Wait, did I met Esmeralda in the?
No,
Right.
No.
Oh, okay. But she did mention she's Baba Yaga's daughter or granddaughter, right?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
she?
sure that's probably came up in conversation. I mean, yeah, actually, you would have heard that when I was talking to Tyrson. But yeah, I did introduce myself properly when you appeared.
Okay.
Out of the
It's like
dragon.
it was thanks to the little girl's grandmother, Baba Yaga, I would presume, correct? Esmeralda.
Oh yeah, Esmeralda Palace. Yes, your
You see, although she was the one that helped Icarus to curse me to a rabbit foot, but she also the one that gifted me the finest blade that I was able to slay the dragon. I immediately draw out the black sword and say that this black sword, they call what Baba Yaga told me was the sword of Soul Eater. By this sword, I was able to enter to the void to meet the dragon and to Icarus and even Tyrson. I saw that he is in the void. Although whatever happens after that, I kind of lost the recollection. But with this sword alone, I was able to teleport myself into the void and slain the dragon.
Everybody in the courtroom gasps in Spanish.
I can't imagine Zachariah feels like that because he's angry now.
Angry shock.
Zachariah also look at Cornelius angrily.
Cornelius.
Varus turns to Zachariah and Cornelius. Cornelius, he put both hands. It's like on the left and the right. We are here to talk about Tyrson. We must relax and calm down, Cornelius and Zachariah.
But yes, let me prove my point to what Tyrson have to say, then we shall continue with the trial. But like I said, I was able to do so. So it will only make sense that there are other people that is able to do such thing, whether through the sword, through magic, or through anything. For all we know, I can't say for sure that Varus does it, but he may. There are people out there that have the power to do so. So I'm just stating a fact that I was able to enter to the void through the blade of this. And it was thanks to this I was able to slay S-L-A-Y, not Leia, slay the dragon. Along with Icarus.
Okay. Alright. And then then Durotan, you heard your whole conversation. You have anything to say?
Mm-hmm.
After that I will move to
Oh
Rhin'zey
yeah,
again.
definitely. Basically, like, regarding the part where he says, like, he saw Varys and everything, he's like,
Tell me, Tyrson, what made you so sure that you did see Varys in there? For all you know, it's somebody who's impersonating him. I mean, what if you said you saw me? Or even Rhin'zey, or Elgin, or even Ptyei'heon, or Cornelius. It could be any one of us. I mean, how do we know that you're even telling the truth at this stage?
I turn to Durotan. Durotan, if I saw you there, I would point you out, or anyone else in this courtroom. Why would I point out anyone else? My honor and my god would banish me to the deeps if I don't speak the truth. You know, when I said to you, I will speak the truth if it means me gonna get executed? Did I say that, Durotan?
Yes, you did.
So, that should give you some indication what I am saying is the truth. I have no reason to live, per se. But anyway, to answer Cornelius' question, is yes, I saw Varys and the dragon and everyone else I have mentioned before in this courtroom of the third person, and to specify, I was Varys 110%. I said he was bashing me in the void. In the void, Cookie.
oh, Cookie!
I know you want to make the scenario called the last meal, but not that way.
I didn't move it. I didn't move it. Somebody else is moving it. You know?
Perfect timing. No, no, perfect timing. He's like in the middle of a serious speech. Then he's like,
Alright.
Cookie.
Zachariah, you're here again, Tyrson saying and blaming that it's Varys. Again, you don't believe him. How? There's no proof.
I know.
Elgin just stood there looking at Tyrson, his eyes sharpened, annoyed and angry. Elgin, before he could say anything, Zachariah, Elgin said, again with Varys. Varys was with me every single time, every single day, every single minute, Tyrson. Even during my meditative state, when Varys sleeps, I was awake. There is no possible way that Varys is there with you unless you can prove to me and show to me and to everybody else here, Tyrson. I want to believe you, but it's hard to believe you right now, old friend. But if you can't show anything right now, I mean, your words are just words, old friend. I want to trust you, to believe you that maybe that the dragon have possessed your mind so deep that it have changed your personality altogether to be different. You were, when I followed you, Tyrson, I thought that you were a great man. It's like going to deserts, talking to orcs, talking to the hobgoblins, making them change their sides and everything. But now, you're blaming that one person, the only human, other than Cornelius right now, the only human companion that you have now, during that time, to follow you, fought with you, blood with blood, protecting you even, bringing you even back from the dead. Everything. But, again, I'll let I'll let the jury decide. Then he walks away. Then Zakaria, your turn.
Then Zakaria like drop put the axe on the floor. Then he hand on his knee, face towards Tyson. Listen here, Tyson. I know you try to tell the truth, but somehow it's unbelievable.
Well,
I have to say this. I have lost a friend. He's the most idiot, dumbest, among all arrogant too. But no matter how, he is our friend. And because of your action, or should I say your call, causes his death. And based on your saying, there's more than meets the eye.
yes, there's more meets the eye.
Lena
Of this
R5, the halfling, speaks out quietly. Yes, Christopher was an old friend. But you shouldn't have done that, Tyrson. If not because Vadu is holding me down, I would have fireballed your ass where you stood right now. And I don't even want to give you a fair trial. I would kill you myself. If not because that Zakaria is standing there speaking on behalf of the people. I'm saying this because I was given a script to say what I'm supposed to say. And yes, I would kill you, actually, because
Lina, we talk about this. Lina, we talk about this.
Badu is like, Badu like looking at Lina. Lina look at you, Badu. Hold me back, Badu. Hold me back. She's like,
Lina, we talk about this. Lina, calm down, Lina. This is a card.
like,
Fireball your ass. Okay, now I know she's really angry.
Tifling trying to hold back a halfling. Okay.
Yes, Badu is holding back Lina R5, the halfling. Hold me back. Hold me now. Hold me.
But I'm literally carrying her because she's the halfling. I'm like literally carrying her.
Her little legs like in the air.
Yeah, because Zaf specifically said, if I was there, I would fireball his ass. Okay. Right? So...
And Zakaria sit back his seat. I shall rest my case.
Then you sat there, pop your axe there, and then after that, Rhin'zey, you see the tension now. Court. You can see the crowd like whispering among themselves, like saying, Tyrson has no proof. Like you hear the crowd like say, Tyrson does not say anything. And after you look to Zakaria, you see his beard like really unhinged. You can see that he's holding his axe. It's like if not controlled, things could be much worse. So Rhin'zey, what do you want to say?
Axe if you want. He have good aim with throwing.
Isn't that roar? It's like saying like to silence everyone, like roaring. And saying,
Whoa.
we need to focus. This is not about the other people in question. This is about Tyrson. And from what I see, he is just trying to take attention away from him. This is about him, what he has done, and who he is. When he's trying to direct the attention elsewhere, that is exactly the game that he's playing, and the game that you are all falling into. If you respect yourselves and the way that your intelligence works, your mind works, your wisdom works, then you will not be falling prey to his games. This man has done evil things and has affiliation with evil beings. We are here to put into the message out there that that is unacceptable, that won't be accepted, that won't be forgiven, and that will be put to justice.
Can Cornelius speak up?
We should not be led away.
Yeah, let Rhin'zey speak first.
Yeah. After that, I want to speak up.
Yep, and then I'm done.
Okay, Cornelius, because like Rhin'zey, I know that you want the justice that you're seeking for, but
Justice for Tabaxis! Justice for Tabaxis!
But there are no justice. Tabaxi lies better. But there are no justice if we just only trial without what was the word called again?
Oh yeah.
Prove guilty, yeah. Innocent till prove guilty or something. I can't
Roll for
remember.
wisdom saving throw.
Damn it! Once? Once? Just once?
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I on sane or am I insane? I just need to know so I can roll.
You are insane because every time when you try to do right, when you try to actually do something lawful or right, the blade will go against you. So you'll be an opposite of that. So you'll agree with Rhin'zey also. You agree to what he said.
Yes, I agree with you, Rhin'zey. No life should be punished, especially with Tyrson. Oh my god, this is so fucking against my nature right now.
You are like your brain, your mind, your eyes is like rolling left and right. When you try to actually defend Tyrson, it's like no. Varus turns to you, Cornelius. Yes, Cornelius. You know what you must do, old friend. Then you look to Tyrson and you agree with Zachariah and Rhin'zey. Yes.
Sorry, Tyrson, but because of the lack of evidence, I wish to help you, but I can't. The only way to do so is to be judged fair and square by the people. I will rest my case here. I'm so sorry, Tyrson, but this is the best I could do for you. Then I just sit back down and it's like I'm trying to touch my head and now because it's like
you're having a migraine now. You're holding your head. You're thinking to yourself, what's going on? Those were not the words you wanted to say, but you said it out anyway. And then Durotan, you look to Cornelius. Something's obviously wrong with your rabbit folk friend. Maybe it's a transformation from a rabbit to a human that is actually making her not making any sense at all. But you will listen to Zachariah, Rhin'zey, and Cornelius, and now it's up to you.
Basically, he stands up and walks to hear this distance, addresses everybody saying,
"My lords, fellow members of the audience, if the accused is not going to tell us anything useful and continue to shift the blame, then I'm afraid we need to reach a conclusion. My lords, let us vote on his fate right here, right now. The accused has done nothing but shift the blame to others. I mean, look at him. He's trying to accuse my friend Varus. I fought with Varus and I vouch for his innocence. What stopped the accused from doing the same to me or to anyone else? What stopped him from even trying to undermine the integrity of this court?"
And that's when he just goes and sits back.
Okay. Right. Okay, Tepes.
Can I put a hand up? Just like miss, it's cool. So if you think I want this, again, I don't want all this. I just want to literally sit back and relax in my village. Nothing else. I don't want this. This is pretty much my last thing to do list of, but we're in this situation. I just want to put a picture. This is being forced upon me. Okay? And if members of the court think I am lying, just think of what would I gain of lying at this situation and misleading people. I took an oath. I took an oath to my deity to say the truth and nothing more. And I am again saying to the court, if I'm lying to you, struck me down now, or let me speak. You are going to hear unusual stuff, because some people at this time in life don't understand of what's really happening. I'm really happy to explain everything into detail if you let me speak.
Elgin and Sonny walked. Yes, I want to believe you, Tyrson. I heard what you said. I can feel the truth from within your voice, your mannerism, the way you stood. But then he turns to Varus. Varus, what say you, old friend? Should we give Tyrson a chance? Or Varus then stood up from his chair. He took up his wine and took a sip. Then turns to Tyrson and said, well, it is not up to me to decide. However, if it was only me standing here at this court without the presence of Zachariah, Rhin'zey, Cornelius and Durotan, or even Lena and Vadu, even Ptyei'heon and Esmeralda, I would have sent you to the guillotine myself, Tyrson, and be done. But, and then after the Caesar was about to continue, you see somebody like cough at the audience and said, excuse me, well, I'm a bit lost. I was from Val when I saw this blue thing flying above, destroying every shit I see, and then I followed you all here. Well, I was a bit burned, a bit unhinged, and then Varus speaks out, old Zach, what are you doing here, old man? And then you see old Zach and said, well, I know this young man. I think he was talking to me, or was it that furry little guy over there? He points at Rhin'zey. Then he said, well, this man asked me to follow him to this small little town called Val, and, well, I agreed, and then this blue wing thingy flew over and blasted me off the ground. Luckily, nothing happened to me. Other than a few cuts and bruises, but that's about it. But, well, I believe this young man. I think, Varus, perhaps you should, cut his head off and resurrect him fully, without his memory or something. Is there a high-level cleric here or something? Like, at least a level 20 or something? Okay, everybody roll for insight disadvantage. What's a level 20 cleric?
Definitely. Insight with disadvantage. Here's 1, and here's 2. Oh my god, that 20. That 20. No.
But you know what scenario is now? You are metagaming your own game.
Yeah, you're metagaming now.
Okay,
Yeah,
Esmeralda, you knew the moment you heard old Zach said, level 20 cleric, you know about that reference. You snap your finger and point to old Zach. I know about that reference. You point to him.
I get that.
And then, but
I know.
there's no...
But are you gonna punish yourself? Are you gonna punish yourself? Because you say that whoever
everybody. And then Esmeralda like, Esmeralda, you actually replied back to old Zach. There's no level 20 cleric in the land because there's no high level cleric at all. Nobody. And then Zach was like, then how you roleplay this, Esmeralda?
I say, as far as I'm aware, and there is no cleric of that high enough level with enough XP that you require. Perhaps you're required to come back another time once you've purchased the DLC.
Thank you, young lady. But, well, if you decide to end this young man's life, I do suggest that he comes back as a cleric. At least, there's no cleric in this group. If none of you die...
we are literally breaking every wall, every fourth wall.
And then one of the guards actually walk over, okay, old man, you're not making any sense. You go back to your seat. And then the old man like, alright, okay, not making any sense. But as the crowd, they just look at the old man, all scratching their head. This man is definitely crazy, thinking to himself. But he's from Val, perhaps the only survivor. But you notice then one lady actually that speaks out and then they walk. Excuse me, I'm Deirdre from Matahari. And then as she was about to speak, you see Andraste walks out from the crowd and said, sister, what are you doing here? Oh, Andraste.
Oh my god. This is
So you have more than one sister? Really now?
Cat fight.
And then Deirdre looks to Andraste, and then Deirdre said, Andraste, I'm not too sure what's wrong with you, but you were with them and now you're against it. And Andraste speaks out, well, at least Durotan is more man enough than him to actually stand up to me when he turned into a dragon. And then Deidra then said, well, if you just make sure that you actually wear some tighter clothes like what you're wearing now, nobody will be chasing after you. But Deidra then speaks out to the crowd and looks to Varus and the others. Deidra said, Rhin'zey, Durotan, Cornelius, you all traveled with me. You all traveled together. You know Tyrson will never do what
Who
he
is the one
does.
speaking? Wait, who is the one speaking? I can't
Deidra.
differentiate. Oh, Deidra. Okay.
Deidra speaks out.
Deidra and Andraste sounds the same to me.
Yeah, I wanted to get out. Don't worry. Deidra speaks out. Okay, I'll put it. Deidra speaks out and said, all of you have traveled with Tyrson. Deidra speaks out. Surely you all know that he would never do such a thing. If you were to kill him now, we will never know who is the real culprit of the cult. Deidra then says, but you all must remember that you all were traveling companions. But if you all decide to end it now, then be it. But then she points a finger to all of you and says, but remember, this will be all on you. Then she speaks out, heads over to a chair. And Andraste then said, remember everyone, whatever she said, her words can be manipulative. She manipulates men, women, children with her goody two-shoe attitude. Andraste speaks out. And then she looks to Varus and then looks to Durotan and then to Rhin'zey, Andraste, and then speaks out. Rhin'zey, Durotan, Varus, and young Cornelius, do what you have to do. This court has been going on long enough. We don't need some crazy old man or anything to actually prolong this event as we speak. Then they walks back. And then the bird at the window like, caw, caw.
As she walks back, Esmeralda coughs and goes, says the woman with the revealing leggings.
And then now Varus then stood up again and like, well, there's enough drama in this room. And then he looks to Old Zag. Old Zag, you're free to stay here and rest them. Your mind is not at its proper place. Perhaps after more recuperation, you can remember who you are. Then Varus then turns to Durotan and said, Durotan, what will be your verdict? Banishment or death? Or life imprisonment?
He just simply closes his eyes, remembering everything that they ever been together. A slight tear just comes up from one of his eyes. That's when he stands up and just simply say,
guilty. Punishment is death.
And he just sits covering himself out of sorrow, sadness over that he's been deceived all this time, that the friendship was nothing but an act.
Are you crying because
roll for persuasion, Durotan?
Okay. Persuasion.
Are you crying because Tyrson is dead so you can have Andraste for yourself, or are you just happy that
Oh my god.
Continue.
Oh my god.
Alright, Durotan, the moment you say those words, the crowd at this side said, and then they start banging the table. Death, 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 death to the guilty, death to Tyrson. And then Andraste even say, death to him. I never liked him anyway.
Oh my god.
Oh, salt of the wound.
And then after that, Cornelius, then Varus turned to you, Cornelius. How about you, old friend?
do I need to roll for wisdom again?
Depending on what you say. Like I said, if you are...
I want to say because we do not have... because we do not have enough proof. That's why we say that death would mean a bit too harsh. So I want something like a... either banish... delay sentence or something until there is enough evidence to prove that he is guilty, something like that.
Then you better role play. But you need to roll for wisdom saving throws.
Yappa!
Don't
get it one. Don't get it
9-9.
Nope.
9-9.
Nope. What you said just now, you think to yourself as you're about to stand up slowly. You tell yourself in your head, no, we must give you some time. We must make sure that he stays so that he can. No, but the moment you got up from the chair, death.
Can I not say that? Can I not say? Can I just?
You do the.
Herbert, can I just? Okay. I don't say anything. I just like I'm too. My grade is too bad to even say anything. I'm just holding my head. Can I just do that? Can I just do that?
No, you have to declare. You have to give a verdict. No choice. The sword compels you to do the action. No choice.
Can I suggest something?
Abstain.
Okay, Herbert.
Abstain is
Okay. Wait. Just let me do it. I'm holding my head and I say that because of not enough evidence to compel your innocence. As the Lord of Titania, I sentence you to. I sentence you to death.
Are you right there?
It's like I'm like trying to fuck with my conscience. I'm trying to fuck with my conscience.
No one can hear you yell. You're just saying death.
It's like I'm just like trying to like not speak the word death, but then it's like death. It's like ugh. It's like so I'm like fighting with my conscience here. God fucking.
I use mind link on Cornelius and I whisper in Cornelius's mind.
Well, you have to roll for insight first, before you do that. Before you can declare using this.
Okay, can I please see?
Or it'll be metagaming.
Yeah. Yes. Correct. No. You fail.
Okay, I will use my inspiration.
Yes. I knew you were gonna say that. Roll again.
Oh, okay.
Oh, worse this time. Nope. You can't use mind link. You just think that. You just see that Cornelius probably having a bad migraine. That's about it.
I'll put my hand. Can I suggest something before?
You can't yet. You can't speak unless you're asked to be spoken to. That's what Elgin said. Otherwise, you have to cast a cone of silence.
I go to Elgin. Can I put my finger up to help this along? Of like a suggestion of my probably obedience to the court.
No, you can roll for persuasion on Elgin and speak your words. Provided you pass though.
Yeah.
Nope. As you're about to actually tell Elgin, it's like the Elgin just looks to you, but before you can say anything, the guards actually beat you up as usual. Okay. And then after that, then Cornelius, you sentence Tyrson, then you say your last word, sentence to death. Varus turns to you, he taps you on your shoulder, Cornelius. It's alright, Cornelius. After this,
I'm Cornelius. So sorry, I don't think I'm in the bright mind to speak of right now. Please excuse my absence. Can I do that? Can I do that?
No, you have to declare.
No, yeah. I mean, I declare he's dead, but then it's like because of the migraine and everything, I asked to be excused.
No, cannot. You just sit down.
Damn it!
Cornelius just actually let you sit down. Relax. Rest, my friend. Then Varus turns to Zachariah. Zachariah turns and look at Cornelius. You're not too sure what's happening.
No, but I put the X on the floor with two hands on top of the X. He is definitely guilty. But after listening so much, there is more than meets the eye, I see. But no matter how guilty first, but not to death, I believe he can be a witness or something.
Varus sentenced you, Zachariah. Then what is it? If it's not death, banishment or imprisonment?
Say he may be a witness. The case is going weirder and weirder the moment time goes on.
But you have not picked Zachariah. Imprisonment or banishment?
I did say imprisonment.
Imprisonment it is. Then you said there, you look to Rhin'zey. Varus then turns to Rhin'zey. Durotan turns to Rhin'zey. And then Varus then said, Rhin'zey, it is your decision. 1, for imprisonment. 2, for death. It's your last decision now, my friend.
I will speak slowly and clearly. I sentence you, Tyrson, to
Death?
death.
I hear two voices.
Death. It's a death.
Death. Alright. Okay. Then Varus actually stood up and said, I have no words to say, Varus turns to Tyrson. But
Can
the
I
votes,
suggest
okay.
something?
Right?
Just before you kill me and make an example of me, of my shameful things, are you interested in an offer? Varus.
Roll for persuasion. I hope you pass.
So,
Ooh. Varus then looks to you. What else do you have that you might actually entice me, Tyrson? And what is this thing that you want to say?
so, I pretty much am going to die. But this could be beneficial for everyone in the courtroom of me being alive. If you're everyone members of the court, let me. So what I was proposing, you let me have my lands back. I, in return, will supply you wealth and troops, and on top of the cherry, an armistice where I will not have, what's the word, any army for a long time, but it will benefit the members of the court. If we go to war, you would love my training of training troops to lead your army. And in return, I will drop everything and bend the knee. I just want to say I would do this as my penance and probably a dowry to the court of Rhin'zey's village and all this shenanigans. So I know exile, imprisonment, it wouldn't benefit the North or whatsoever, but I, as an agreement in writing, I will be on my own and will help with anything I know of knowledge. I know a lot of stuff, even the books won't even tell. If you exile me, you won't be able to access the knowledge. If you imprison me, I probably enjoy it to get fat, trying to get fat in prison. But it will be cost to the state. If, as a third option, fourth option, if I can rebuild my village and help provide my services to the North of any conquest or wisdom, And if you want to go to war, I'm not stopping you. I just...
Rhin'zey then looks to you. Varus looks to you, Tyrson, and he said, that's actually a quite mighty good offer. So he's saying that your people will be willing to work for me, perhaps as slaves, then making sure that you don't have any army in return to actually oppose me. However, that is actually a really good offer. Working the lands and giving me the wealth that I need, that we need, since that you are actually the villain of this whole story. He looks to you and he laughs. Then he turns to Durotan. Varus looks to you, Durotan, and he said, how about you, old friend? Do you agree with this decision?
Whatever decision that we make here today, if you deem it as justice, old friend, I'll agree to it. But it's not me who should be asking this question. Rhin'zey here lost the most. His people slaughtered and scattered. He needs to answer this decision, not I. I'll follow your decision and his.
As long as I get the pussies.
Then Varus said, I like this proposition that Tyrson is actually giving me. Instead of killing him, as was actually deemed by most of you, perhaps we could actually use him and his people, which are actually fleeing towards Matahari as we speak. But I'm not too sure whether Xanatar Valoran would actually allow them to actually stay in his town. But my words would be saying we abstain the execution, but we will make sure that Tyrson do not grow an army strong enough to oppose us other than becoming farmers, merchants, fishermen, and miners. And not to mention that he probably would actually strengthen the new alliance that myself and Rhin'zey will be doing, and you, Durotan. The alliance that we need to strengthen Rastum, Frostwolf, and also the new species Wolf. I would say we abstain for the time. How about you, Cornelius? Abstain? Let him work the lands? As a slave?
I seek for the healer to heal my to cure my headache, because it's like I cannot really speak properly right now because of the problem.
Suddenly one young elf raise her hand. I'm a healer. And she walks over to you. And after that she's like, oh wait. Oh I'm over. One of you guys, wait, let me delete myself first. Then I'll come back. Whee!
What?
Yes.
Truly amazing, isn't it? Dark elves can just delete themselves out of existence and come back again. Truly amazing.
You see this young, small, little girl walks over to you, Cornelius, and then she touches your forehead. Let me touch you. Yes, your mind seems to be quite distraught. It's as if there's two of you, but that doesn't matter. Here it is. She heals you slowly, but you're still having a headache. It seems that whatever this young drow did, Esmeralda, you notice that this young drow did actually chant the words of her goddess, Ishakar, and then after that, then you turn to Cornelius. Cornelius, you still feel a bit giddy, but Varus asking you again, well, since you've been healed of your headache, Cornelius, what is your verdict, Cornelius? Death or abstain?
Do I still need to roll for wisdom again?
It depends on what you say.
I mean, obviously I'm not gonna say death, but then it's like if I'm talking the other way, obviously I'm still gonna roll for my wisdom. And you know
chaotic neutral attitude. You can still make him your slave.
Let him work the land. If killing him means
being a slave is much worse than death.
After all, he is already dead. What's more to him to make use of him? If he is able to offer himself, so be it. Although he is dead, but alive, is like quote unquote, a live person is still better than a dead person. Let him be the slave. Let him work under me, or or even better, let him work under Rhin'zey. For all I care, I think Rhin'zey would like it best to have a slave under him to work for him to pay for his crime. I say work for Rhin'zey as the slave for his eternity, since he's not going to be dead anyway. I'm still trying to hold my head while talking, like very roughly.
Yes. Okay, you don't have to roll for wisdom saving throw. Okay. Because they're still counting neutral. Borderline counting evil. Alright, then Varus then said, Cornelius, a slave it is. And he turns to Zachariah. Zachariah, how about you? Will you let him work the lands? This will benefit this will benefit your mountains, of course, and the dwarf will come over to actually make sure that the Dhampirs that live in Bao are managed and controlled. What say you, friend dwarf?
Do I even have to manage that far? Even Steelback Mountain is not yet well done.
Varus then turns to you, Zachariah. No, it will not be you that look after them. It will be Rhin'zey's military might that will control Bao, making sure that they do not grow in strength.
That case I leave it to him. Personally, death is too kind for him. Now that I think about it, what is his lifespan? I don't know what is a Dhampir. For us dwarves,
he would outlive you and me, my friend. But my children will make sure that he stays asleep.
Of course. Of course.
Yes, it'll be so ironic if suddenly he have a daughter and the daughter falls in love with Tyrson. Okay, hopefully that doesn't happen. Anyways, Varus then turns to Rhin'zey, and then Rhin'zey, what say you? Cornelius and Zachariah have said that they make him as a slave, working the lands, and not to mention he could actually benefit the new seas as well, building the village while you and your people live as kings while he works the lands. Varus smiles.
We'll agree to all of those things under one condition.
And what is this? What is it, Rhin'zey? Varus looks at you.
He is formally made my personal slave.
oh my.
Oh, that's not very lawful good of you.
I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I'll just let the Daikatana go to my son. I already given it up.
Right. Varus and looks. Then it's agreed then. Tyrson will be your slave. Your own personal slave. I believe that he'll probably be in shackles then, from neck, hands, and toes.
Suggest something. Like everything. If I'm like a slave, I suggest I have to talk and be reasoning counsel. So I think me always in shackles and like this cold weather would kill me eventually by disease and poison me. So I have a tweak of what you suggest, Rhin'zey. If I can make more than personal slaves for you, but I need to always manage your newfound lands, and if I'm always sticking to you, you'll be my master, I'll be their master. You control me, I control the leftover people I have. So the transition will be much easier. And again, I'll be your backing call, but I need to make sure your people doing the right thing in your name. Imagine a town, you can say the words, but actually doing it, it's a hands-on work. So if I'm always chained to the hip to you, like a tumor, I wouldn't be prospering the land, and I wouldn't be able to furthering the wealth of this land.
Okay. Roll for persuasion versus persuasion. Okay. Rhin'zey persuasion. Tyrson persuasion. Oh my god. All
My
those,
Oh.
even after all that long conversation. Even if Rhin'zey rolls a 2, he still pass. Okay. So
Another net one. Imagine. Another net one.
yeah. Rhin'zey roll persuasion. Of course persuasion. It's a net 1 versus oh my
Oh my
god!
god!
I knew it! I called it! I called it!
Holy moly. Okay.
I called it!
Zachary, you
Okay,
are
Zachariah.
convincing enough, and we have taken up enough time. Can't we just give a simple judgment?
Okay. Now, Zachariah. And after that, now it's your word, Zachariah. Rhin'zey, I have nothing to say. He's also confused what to do, whether he'll make him a personal slave or not. But Tyrson, if you look at the number 6 and 2, Tyrson wins. So Tyrson actually managed to persuade you, Rhin'zey, that he will not be a slave to you, but he will be a slave master to other slaves that comes to Val, which you actually need to agree right now. Okay, Rhin'zey, you agree to what Tyrson said. How do you roleplay this?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
You failed on a 2 versus a natural 6.
I
I
said that as a joke, honestly. I never thought
Right.
it could
Okay,
happen.
Rhin'zey, what do you say to Tyrson? He said that he will not be a slave to you, but he will be the master slave to the other slaves.
Well, I say, well, it's slave or death. There's only 2 ways to go about it.
Your net 1 means that you agree to it.
Yeah,
Your net 1, you agree to what Tyrson said.
yeah.
Yeah.
Meaning that he will not be shackled by you in chains, but others would. But he will still control the people of the burnt village of Val. It will still be the burnt village, just that they will just manage the fields, manage the fishes, manage the trees for wood. So meaning there's going to be some sort of like even the woods further to the north are going to be cut down by the Dhampirs that actually come to actually seek refuge, or any Dhampirs that you people caught will be put to that village. And that village will have cages.
How is this any different to setting him free, pretty much?
No, he will still be a slave. He won't go free because most of your people will look after the place, so he most likely will not run away. Not to mention Rastum will also put the people there. Durotan will also put the ox there. If Tyrson tried to do anything that go against the ruling, then Tyrson and every other Dhampirs that live there will die.
Basically, Val will become a vessel state to whatever this new empire that you and Varys are building. So he won't be your personal slave because you already just agreed to that. But he will be a leader of the vessel state, which you will be in charge of.
State itself will become a slave then, instead of him becoming a slave by himself.
And Varys speaks out, and it's agreed. Tyrson, you have been saved from the guillotine. It seems that you're going to be the slave to Rhin'zey. I will look into that from time to time. But you'll be thrown into prison. Men, carry him back. We'll deal with him later. And to see his fate. And after the men actually drag him away. Slowly drag you off. Followed by the jester.
Serving milk and cookies.
Serving milk and cookies.
Ooh, cookies.
Meanwhile, as the court adjourned, you see Deirdre has popped up. Well, that was good. However, we still be trading with one another, aren't we, Varys? Varys speaks back and said, "Yes, Deirdre, we'll still be sending our trade to Matahari as promised. Then you get everything." And Deirdre speaks, "Alright, then I'll take my leave." When she just walks away. And then the others, the lizard folk, then walks over and he said, Tyrson was there at that time when he saved my people. I will see to it that you will not be very profound and happy of what your action has done. That is, I will see to it personally. And after that, you see the Lord of the Lizard folks then walk away. Then you see the Hobgoblin captain said, he speaks. Tyrson was instrumental in actually persuading us to actually lay down our arms and lead you. But I will not forget this day. We will see each other very soon in the field of battle. And you see the Hobgoblin walks away. Then, after that, you see...
Don't forget old Zach. I'm sure he will have a few words.
The rabbit folks was like, well, that was fun. I'll be seeing you again, Cornelius. Well, I thought you'd be letting him free. Didn't expect you to be killing him. You're totally different, Cornelius, I remember. And they hoppity hop, hoppity hop, hoppity hop, hoppity hop. They walk away and walk
Like, I just like, wait. It's like,
oh, wait. But the blade like stops you from moving. Then, after that,
Yamiro!
You see a dark cloak figure walks over, bows, and walks away.
I'm wondering who is this dark cloak figure.
Then after that you see the Orc of Black Rock Mountains. Well, that was fun. Well, if you need my men, Durotan, we'll be there. Just in case the lizard folk try to do some sort of mischief.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
I'll be seeing you in Frostwolf. Don't be late. Then, after that, the old Zaga got, well then, that was fun. Well, look at the time. I think your game is going to end very soon, so don't waste any time. Well, you need to go from scene to scene, you know.
He's literally breaking all the walls, man.
What,
Yeah.
no long speeches about prophecy and...
No. Not yet. Then, you see the draw come over and said, well, if you need my help, perhaps I can actually create some sort of temple here. Well, if you want some, perhaps I'll let my draw people to actually move in. Then she bows and then walks away. Then, after that, Andraste walks. Well, that was good, but I wish that you would have given the final sentence to Tyrson and cut off his head. But, Durotan, let's not waste any time. Let's head over to Frostwolf.
Basically, Durotan stands up and walks over and like bows to everybody and say to them,
Excuse me, my friends, but Frostwolves wait for me. I shall see you all soon.
as he, like walks over to Andraste, grabs her like a lady by the hand, and just walk together.
Okay, you got her. They walked off. You grab her and then you just walked away.
Oh god. Okay, you just okay.
You put Andraste on the biggest war horse you can find and ride off towards Frostwolf. But meanwhile, as Cornelius was actually holding her head, Cornelius, you see the door actually opens open minutes after Durotan actually walked off, and you see somebody familiar to you walks over to you. The voice itself soothes your mind, and then she said, "Cornelius, is that you?" And then you see Velvet Rose appearing in the crowd with your all Imperial soldiers. And you look at her, roll for wisdom saving throw. And you try to resist. But you notice that Velvet Rose pushed Elgin away. Elgin walks over, and after that she just walked away and I tried to hug you. And then after that you realize that the sword itself started to actually lose its power. and then suddenly he just vanished. And then when you open up your eye, you see Velvet right in front of you. You were like so happy to actually see her. Varus was surprised to see Velvet and said, "So you're Velvet Rose. My master told me a lot about you."
Velvet?
And Velvet looks to Varus. "Excuse me, have we met?" And Varus said, "No, not yet."
Velvet, is that you?
And then Velvet looks to you.
I'm feeling very bad.
Velvet touches your forehead and said, "It's okay, Cornelius. We are here to bring you home. And your men will be waiting. Your horses is outside. I think it's best that you return home, my love," she said. And then Varus then turns to you, Cornelius. "Cornelius, it is time for you to actually leave. And I'll see you soon, perhaps.
Yes.
Just in a year or two."
Yes, Varus, thank you for your hospitality. It was interesting while it lasts, but my kingdom needs me. My parents, especially my mother. She must be worried sick that she lost her only son.
Yes. Velvet then hugs you again, and after that she just asks you, "Cornelius, is that your sword, or are you just really happy to see me?"
I'm very happy to see you. It doesn't even matter of the sword anymore. I love you, Velvet.
Like more, and I embrace. You even drag the chair together with you. Oh.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Then after that, you see your men. Look, see they smash their chest, they bow their head, they kneel on one knee. "Prince Cornelius, we are here for you. Come, your mother and your father is worried sick. It's time to ride home."
Bid you guys farewell. I shall be back to where I once belonged. Goodbye,
all left.
everyone, and I hope to see you guys in the future. That's it.
Then after that, then Lena and Vadu walks over to Zakaria, and then Lena said, "Zakar, we just need to head back to Steelpack Mountain. Perhaps your father will probably be pleased to see you."
Can hear you.
Zakar just stood quiet, didn't say anything. Varus picked you, Zakaria, and Varus and said, "Zakar, I'll be seeing you soon, friend."
Okay.
And Varus then speaks up. Varus then said to you, Zakar, it is time for your adventuring life to end. It is time for you to take over your father and hire other adventurers to do their jobs while you rule your people.
To be the judge of that. That we will see how it comes.
Lena looks to you, Zakar, and she said, No more, Zakar. We have already lost Christopher. I don't want to lose another friend. I think it's best time now that we hire adventurers to scout the dungeons and find the treasures for us instead.
Does that mean, Lena, you're finally married to me? I have been asking for your hand for so long, yet you refuse us once again and again and again.
Lena looks to you, Vadu, and then she said, "Well, I'm not too sure how it's going to work between a halfling and a tiefling. So if we have children, what are we going to call them? Half a tiefling?
Half? I have no idea. It's okay. We don't need to bother about that. All I ask for is your hand right now. We can think of the children in the future. Right now, all I ask for is your hand, my dear, my love, my moon and star."
Then let's go home now, Vadu, and let's bang.
Oh my god, that's not what I meant, but
Oh my god.
And Zakaria's like, "Ooh, how's that gonna be?"
I did demons, lol.
And then Rhin'zey, you look to Varus. Varus looks to you. He stands there looking up at you, and he said, "Well, it seems that it's only you and me, Rhin'zey. Time to actually build our town and make it strong. Don't worry, Tyrson won't be going anywhere." And you stood there, look at him in silence. "Well, your silence means a lot to me, old friend. Let's go." And after that, Varus looks to you, Esmeralda. Then he said, "Well, Lady Esmeralda, if you would like to stay, you could. Or would you like to actually head back?"
I'll probably head back to grandmother and tell her the interesting things that have transpired. Then after that, I'm not quite sure where the winds will take me. I hear rumors of giants in the north. Suppose that might be interesting.
Yeah. Well, my adventuring life is over. I will need to actually take over Rafton, just like my father. Well, if you seek the adventuring life, it's always there looking. But if you want to stay in Rafton, perhaps we can actually make a deal. If your mother would allow, perhaps you could actually build a wizard's tower, and perhaps you can build a school to teach young children in the ways of spellcasting. I have the resources, you have the knowledge.
I'm sure grandmother would like that. She said she's always wanted more devotees. I will speak to her about it. I'm sure we can come to something.
Elden and looks to you, Esmeralda. I hope you do. I would really like to actually see your magical knowledge, Esmeralda.
Oh my god.
I heard stories about your older sister, and she's quite fascinating. I hope that you could actually do the same.
It's just what it's like to be a woman, just being constantly harassed by young males. And she's like, of course. Yeah, she's not quite sure what to say to that, but yeah, I'm sure we can work something out. I mean, we have about 2 D10 years, so...
Now you're talking like old Zach. Alga looks to you. You're not making any sense.
Breaking the fourth wall! Stop breaking the fourth wall!
Oh yeah, it's a special type of speech my grandmother taught me, that only select people can actually speak it and understand it. Perhaps I'll teach it to you one day.
Perhaps. Oh, well, old Zach is senile, but he's going to be here for quite some time. He's been alive for quite some time, even before I was born, I was going to say. But, well, hopefully he can impart some knowledge to us. But he'll be good cities for our children one day. Well, Elgin and Six and Barrels and say, well, Esmeralda, don't want to stick you around, but I hope to see you soon.
Same. I suppose I best tell grandmother that old Zach is here. I believe they had a fling about 100 years ago or so.
Wait, a thing or a fling?
A fling.
Oh shit, okay.
I mean, she
the door was open again and you see old Zach. Hey, stop talking! We don't have much time! We're gonna end the game very soon! That was away.
Esmeralda just yells out, shut up! Anyway.
Slave.
Then after that,
yeah.
Elgin and Varus bows to you as well. We'll be seeing you soon. And then you walk away. As you walk away, you see the guards bringing Tyrson towards the jail cell. You see Durotan riding away in the distance. You see Cornelius and his loved one, Velvet Rose, that you heard so much about, and his guards riding off into the south. Durotan towards the west. And even Zakaria, Lina, and Vadu towards the east. And you think to yourself, it's time for you to head towards the north, towards the forest, and head to see your grandmother and see what she says. But, meanwhile, days of travel, Durotan, you arrive at Frostwolf Mountain.
Oh wow, let me zoom.
So is this 2D10?
No, not yet.
Not 10 days later? Oh.
Not yet. This is like days later. 6 days later. On horseback. Durotan, you and Andraste arrive at Frostwolf. And Andraste said, nice place you have here.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. We do what we can with what we have.
It's cold. Like my fiery blood will require a cold place like this. Perhaps you can manage. But as you walk closer, you see your old friend. Durotan, you old fucker. Been so long.
Come here, you.
And I'm do the manly thing with us muscle people. Just, and we're muscles just shaking each other's hand.
And you did the Arnold Schwarzenegger boom.
Well, I want to say something to him.
You've grown skinny in my absence. have to get some muscles into you, boy.
Me? Skinny? Huh, you look like you haven't been adventuring much, old friend. You see your friend Ogrim Doomhammer just like stare you up and down. So who's the twig behind you?
That's Lady Andraste. She's my guest.
Well, bring your guest up. Our leader will need to actually say something to you.
I just simply, lead Lady Andraste to where the chief is.
Lady Andraste turns to the chief, and Ogrim Doomhammer looks to you. And after that, you face your old chief, and the chief said, well. It's time that for me to actually leave this place and head off. There will be a number of us actually opening and establishing other villages, perhaps towards the northeast of here. But you will be taking over this one, Durotan. And it seems that ever since Ogrim actually returned from the west, he said something about some goblins massing some army. But we best be ready ourselves, just in case. And not to mention the Sahagwins down the river near the ocean. They seem to be enrolled by something. But before I leave, my daughter would like to actually speak to you. And then you see the door open behind him. And you see his daughter that you've never seen for so long appear before you. As a young girl, she's always so fond of you, Durotan. And
oh my! Fucking
Oh my god.
way!
Andraste looks to her, and then she said, Andraste may speak. Wait, did you tell me that you have somebody waiting for you?
Oh,
And then you see this young girl, this young orc, her bosom so huge they could kill you and suffocate you in your sleep, suddenly jump down and hug you tight, Durotan. And then Andraste is like, She said, well, since you're preoccupied with two mountains, Durotan, I will be taking my leave. And Andraste walks away.
I'm one of the crowd. Oh, Dad! Yo!
I know this gonna happen.
Like,
I know
the crowd was like, ooh, damn! All the orcs was like, oh, that's some fine lady over there, orc.
I know this gonna happen with Andraste. I just, I thought too good to be true. I literally thought it's too good to be true. But could be for the best.
But you see the chieftain's young daughter like hugging you. And then after that, her name is Chi-Chi.
Why is that sound so familiar? Oh god.
And then her Chi-Chi's was just too close to you. And they're almost suffocating you. Roll for Constitution saving throw.
Okay, here comes the Constitution saving throw.
And you're like, you failed, but Ogrim Doomhammer is like, oh.
A 15 is a fail, okay.
Ogrim Doomhammer looks to you, get a room, Durotan.
One teeth is DC 20, okay? You have two teeth there.
Yes.
I just,
Plus 5 penalty each.
wait.
DC 25.
Well, I got something better. I stand, I carry her princess style, and just simply, as I carry her, I stand here, like on this side, like addresses everybody, saying,
I'm your new chieftain, and I will do my very best to make you all proud. I will lead our people with strength and wisdom, like the warriors of old. From this day forward, we will be known as Orkville. A nation of orc, we will be strong and powerful.
Ogrim looks to you, really? Orkville? That's the best name you can think of? You better slip this off, Durotan, and think about a better name.
Yeah, true. Okay, you raise the name.
We will...
Okay, and then after that, you see a chieftain raise your hand, and all the orcs start to cheer loudly. Roar! And then over here, you see Chi-Chi that look at you, like smiling there, like blushing. And after that, the chieftain looks to you. You better give me fine warriors, Durotan.
I will do my very best.
That's when I I carry her.
But can I
princess-
roleplay Chichi? Can I
Yes,
roleplay
you can.
Chichi?
And
I'm fine, that's skinny.
God.
yes, my daughter, I give her hand to you in marriage. Chichi Kimochi, will you take her as your husband? Chichi Kimochi then blushed and just didn't say anything. Right.
I just simply, without him even asking, I grab the girl and say,
Excuse me, chieftain, but I believe I have some urgent business to discuss with Lady Chi-Chi.
that's when I bust through the door, lead her inside, and
Oh. As you walk inside, right,
Uh-huh.
you see that dwarf from the Steel Pack Mountains just laying on your bed.
And then after
She's
that,
like, "Who's this?"
and then Durotan, well, you actually close the door. Well, the chieftain and the Ogrim then looks at each other. Well, that was faster. And after that, the chieftain then said,
Kimochi Yamete!
and then the chieftain then said, that's loud. I think he's doing his war cry right now.
wait, no.
That was him, but that was Chichi.
yes, her war cry. That's her war cry.
Wait,
And then-
for him, you just hear him doing the whole Tarzan scream. Oh my god.
And then the chieftain like, oh.
Down!
The chieftain then said,
Down,
well,
Durotan!
at least I know that Durotan gonna give me strong warriors. And the Ogrim then said, what makes you think they're gonna give me warriors? They could be clerics for And then after that, end scene. Meanwhile, days later, Cornelius, you arrive at Titania Keep with Velvet Rose. You rode in. You see the guards from the tower pointing and screaming and said, the prince is here! Sound the horn! How does it sound again? Not sure. I think it sounds like that. And then you and Velvet, they just like rode in. And then the guards was like so astonished and so happy to look at you. And then you and Velvet, they walk down. But as you're about to actually enter the castle itself, you see dust trails coming from the distance, rushing towards where you are. And then you see your mother and your father rushing so fast, hitting the guards as they fall on the floor. And they like fall immediately towards the bushes, pushed by your mom and your father, even pushing Velvet Rose away. And then the father is like crying, my son, my son. And then you see your mother like looking at your father like, grow up. Then you see your father like, my beautiful son.
Yes, mother, father, I am back.
What did Icarus do to you? Did Icarus castrate you or something?
I hear nothing from you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello. No,
Yeah.
no castration, nothing. Just I got turned into a rabbit. Unfortunately, the people of the rabbit folk are treating me very well and nice. They treat me as part of them, and I in turn shall do the same to them. Father,
The queen that looks at you, rabbit? You mean the rabbits that we eat every season?
No, not those rabbits. They are the humanoid rabbit folk. They
Then
have
the
been-
father said, Cornelius, are you still hungry for some kobold stew and rabbit folk legs?
Oh my god! How about I don't mind being.
Roll for come safe with disadvantage.
I'm gonna roll. You know what, Herbert? I don't mind become a BBEG just so we can end cannibalism. Just so we can fucking end cannibalism.
You remembered your adventure? Like, yes. The person ordering all those kobolds to be eaten was your father. But you never told Waruay.
Oh, Herbert, I couldn't
I'm
control the
that.
token. I couldn't
It's
control
okay.
the token.
It's okay, I'll control. But your father looks to you. Yeah, Cornelius, you can just roleplay. And then Cornelius said, so, do you fancy some kobolds too? The kobolds stop coming
No.
for no reason.
No, Father. After all the ordeal that I am going through, I will not have any more kobolds too. No more rabbits too. Anything. Matter of fact, I think from here on out, I think I will start to do things my way. Once I succeed you, I will change the course of the keeps. I will change the course of the keeps.
And then it's your choice, my son. Your rule. And then the mother looks to Velvet and said, Velvet, you have always been by my son's side all this time. It is time for you to be part of the family. And then the mother speaks out to Velvet and said, yes, Velvet, my son needs a strong ruler by his side, and you have a strong will and a strong determination, traveling even up to the north to find him, fighting monsters and orcs and many more. And then the mother looks to you, Cornelius. What is the stories of the orcs? Did they mistreat you? Are the orcs as evil as they say?
But not all. But I do remember one that did try to eat me because of his silly little jokes. I will remember that fondly. It's like the quote-unquote fondly.
Okay. And then after that, then father like, oh, well, if some orcs has been helping you, well, perhaps you should bring them. Invite this particular orc over. Well, you're gonna have a wedding, of course. A wedding so big that we are gonna invite everybody throughout the realms. And the northern gates to the southern gates now will no longer be closed. You'll be open to everybody from the north and to the south and back again.
Yes, I think we should start with that. For now.
Come, Cornelius. Then, if you don't like some rabbit stew or kobold plagues, perhaps vegetables? Carrots?
Yes. I would absolutely love some carrots.
Carrots it is! And then you like look at some carrots too. And then after that you see the captain, Orlando Damien, looks at you. Oh, Cornelius, he hugs you, the one that trained you in arts. And also your personal and velvet personal knight, Joanne Lamina. And looking to you and said, then they start actually talking to you. They ask you so many questions, what happened and what's what happened. Even the guards, even the maids walks over to you. Last time you were an arrogant fool in Ptyei'heon, but now you are different. But after that, you talk to all of them. They listen to your story about your adventures and what you did, how you defeated the dragon. But meanwhile, the dark blade at your side started to hum. And then after that, your father looks to Velvet and looks to you, Cornelius. We will have a wedding so great. And the mother interrupted. A wedding so great. I feel like calling that wedding the Red Wedding.
Oh my god.
No.
He's like, no.
Red, the beautiful shade of clothing that Velvet is always wearing.
Don't forget about the soy bugs you like to have.
Yes. Then it's like Cornelius asked the maid for all the ridiculous food that the maid had never heard of. Bug stew and many more? What have you been eating? My father would be asking. What?
Anything but kobolds and rabbits. Anything but kobolds and rabbits.
And then during the next day, Cornelius, you told the people of the land and the nearby villagers that starting from now, no more kobolds. Kobolds are free. And then after that, most of the creatures and orcs, leave them be. And then after that, just to defend the land, if they are attacked, then you attack. But only be on the defensive side. But for years later on, you're just getting ready for your wedding. But meanwhile, Ptyei'heon, you head back towards the north. You took the nearest boat and head towards your village. You head towards your Aab'Shagua village to only see the rest of the people already waiting for you. Aside, you see the your illiterate servant, Squidward, looking at you. Hello, my lady. It's great to see you back again.
Yes. Thank you. I'm quite tired.
He took your crossbow away. He then after that he takes care of your hair, and then after that he said, "Well, how about your mask, lady? Shall I remove it?"
No. I need to get used to wearing this more often.
Oh, good. Well, your parents are waiting, but it seems that your brothers and sisters seem to be quite happy to see you back. When you head back, you see Yinju, Yinwei, and Ptyei'heon, your younger brother. They're looking at you and said, "Well, sister, it seems that your adventure's been good. Well, I hope that I'll be actually heading out."
Yes. Well, now that I've seen you, this is quite an overwhelming emotions. For now, I need some rest.
But you'll see your older brother, Yin Wei Ptyei'heon, looking at you. "Hello, sister. It's been a while. How was your adventure?"
It was exhausting to say the least.
You see your brother Ptyei'heon hugs you. You need to tell me more about your adventure. I'm heading out myself to Winter Heaven. Do you want to follow?
Winter Heaven. I have heard some stories of that.
It's a long travel towards the northwest. We'll be heading towards the Kolaya village and then heading straight to Winter Heaven.
Yeah, that sounds like an adventure that I would love to see.
It will be an adventure, of course. We just need to head over there and meet with the leader, of course. But mother is waiting, and our father.
You're here?
Yes, your dad over there is waiting.
Wait, she sort of runs over the direction. She's still like very mentally exhausted from the trial.
Your human mother walks over to you. May. First, she holds you by the shoulder, then she hugs you. It's like, "My daughter, Ptyei'heon, finally you're back." You see your father standing there behind her. His eyes just blinking, didn't say a word. But your mother just speaks out and said, "Finally, Ptyei'heon, you're back. No more adventures this time, Ptyei'heon. I heard the stories that you took down the dragon. That was really brave of you."
Yes. Though, to be fair, I only just did the one thing. Though I was quite scared to see such a large.
What are you gonna be doing with the last? What are you gonna be doing with the last two bolts that you have behind your back?
I was thinking of using that for further research and designs.
That's
Could
good.
use them for materials and other things.
I guess. Then your father looks to you. Then he said nothing. He just nodded his head. Your father has been a silent type, never say a word. But you know he's happy for you. And your mother said, "Come, Ptyei'heon. We have your favorite food and your favorite tea ready. Your brothers will be joining us soon. But it seems that Ptyei'heon will be heading out and he need to actually handle some stuff first."
Mother, I would actually like to travel with him on this trip as well.
Well,
yeah.
Well, it's up to you, Ptyei'heon, but, perhaps you should ask your younger brother to take over, or perhaps Yinzu, you can rest. And besides, maybe you don't want to, use the same character all the time, your mother laughed. Sorry, I got that from an old man. Old Jack, he called himself.
Yeah, not really. Though I would like to see more of this world. Or at least this land. Because meeting all those people have actually more about the kind of people I should be expecting.
But enough talk outside the house, Ptyei'heon.
Okay.
Let's enter. And after that, you all enter the house, and then you took off your mask, took off everything, and after that, enjoy cakes, fruits, and tea. And then, meanwhile, at Matahari, Cordelia, you landed the ship at Matahari. Astrid, Petra, Alum, and even Tyrson's mother and sister arrived on the boat. Then, as you all arrived, Cordelia, you actually spoke to Zanata Valoran about what you found. from within the hull of the ship. Zanata Valorant then head over straight towards Tyrson's mother. And then he quickly said, and I'm sorry. He looked to Astrid. Zanata looks to Astrid. And Astrid, you know that Odelia already found out about Tyrson's mother and also the sister. Astrid, what do you want to do? Is leave online or he left?
Leave.
Leave.
Sorry, I was talking. I had so I go to mother. What? Yes. We had to leave our village, and was wondering, would you be wondering to take in of us our villages and supplies, or we would have to leave and find somewhere else to live and start again. I'm not familiar of you and everyone here, but I'm happy to start a village in your areas, if it's possible, because we just lost our home. You there?
Yeah. Zanata Valorant. Zanata Valorant. Then look to you, Astrid, and look to your mother. Your mother then speak out. If you don't want us here, it is fine. But all we want is just a place that we can actually call home. The mother actually speaks out, and Zanata Valorant said, sadly, we don't serve your kind here. He actually speaks out, but perhaps you should head over towards my manor, and we can actually discuss further. He actually said, if you don't mind. And then after that, Zanata Valorant then actually turns to Odelia and said, Odelia, leave the belongings on the ship. Astrid and the others, I believe, follow me to my home. Then he leads you over to his house, Astrid. Your sister and your mother followed, while the rest of the people of Val stayed on the ship. As you entered, you can see Zanata Valorant's mansion, and your mother and your sister entered, only to actually follow them towards the dining room. You can see the maids cleaning up his mansion, but as you enter, Astrid, you see 3 elves standing behind him. And Zanata Valorant then said, I heard the incident that happened at Val.
Okay.
And the incident that the dragon destroyed your village. Unfortunately, nothing was saved. And we are quite saddened to see that old Zack perhaps perished during the attack. We don't see him on the ship. We are quite sad about his passing. He was a crazy old elf, but at least he's gone. But I would like to introduce you to someone, an old friend of mine. And you see this man walks over towards your mother, Astrid, and then he bows. Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Maximilian. I am from the land of Tepes, far from the southeast of you, by boat. I have heard of your exploits, and I have heard about your son, Tyrson. He was a great leader. People look up to him, and people follow him when he speaks. And Astrid, you see your mother, actually, if there were tears in her eyes, she will shed a tear. But you notice that she is actually quite sad. And then Maximilian then said to your mother, and then, I would like to actually give you an offer. An offer that will take you away from here, take you away from Val. If your sisters, or if your daughters would agree, Maximilian asked, perhaps they could follow. Astrid, what do you say?
That would help us completely. How far is this?
It will be a few weeks travel by boat. I would ask my men to bring your special belongings on my boat, and then we will head out together with the rest of the people of Val to a place that I will construct for you and your mother and the rest of your people. Maximilian speaks out. My daughter and my son will see to it that you will be taken care of, that you all will be taken care of. This will be a place that I've always wanted to actually see other people to actually live on it. However, people like myself could not, but people such as yourself could. If you agree, then we can head sail tomorrow, or perhaps we can actually set sail today. You throw insight to check on this man. You don't sense any ill intentions from him.
Okay. So, yeah, alright. That is fine. Can you show
your
me...
mother turns to you, Astrid, and then she said, We have to trust this man. Where can we go, Astrid? We have no place to go. Xanatar will not let us stay here, and we'll be hunted if Varus knows we're here.
You're right. I think it's our best interest to go with this plan. But don't worry, we'll return one day.
Max, your mother turns to Maximilian and she said, Why are you helping us, Maximilian? Maximilian turns to your mother and he said, calmly, That's nothing. I like helping refugees such as yourself. I was a refugee myself, but I will want to help people like you. And I would also want to study your kind. I have no ill intentions towards you, of course. You can do whatever you want. But I will never betray you to Varus, or whatever he calls himself now. And you roll at 17. Again, he's telling the truth, Astrid. No ill intention. His calm face shows that he has no intentions towards you.
Okay. So I agree.
Then you see the doctor walk up. Then, Father, we should bring them back, if anything. And then the son walks over. If anything, we need to protect them, sister. If Varus sends his assassins or other adventurers seeking them out, they got nowhere else to hide. If not mistaken, the organization that is looking for them is already seeking them out. And after the Maximilian actually looks to you, Astrid. Yes, somebody that's being hired by the name of Fedra is actually hunting you all down, one by one. And then after that, then you roll insight, natural 1.
Yeah, I believe so.
You believe them. You believe them completely. And then after that, Maximilian then speaks out. Then it's settled. We set sail tonight under the darkness, so that you, my lady, will be safe from the sun. The sun here, Matahari, would kill you. Your mother then said, Yes, I can feel the burn even from inside here. And then after that, your mother looks to you, Astrid. We shall follow him. And after that, she whispers to you, if anything, we will be on our guard, she says. Then Astrid, you look to your sister looks to you. I trust them. Let's follow them, she said. Come. Then during that night, you all sailed out, heading towards the southeast, towards the island of Palace. leaving Matahari, leaving your worries behind, and then set sail. Meanwhile, Esmeralda, you head back towards the swamp, towards your mother's hut. As you walk towards the wharf, you hear the loud bang, boom, boom, boom. Then you see your home. Whoa! Fear. Wrong click.
It's like, looks like grandmother's got it on the wrong setting again.
It's like your grandmother has like, God damn it! I clicked the wrong token. Where am I?
Wait, question. Since the house jumps, does everything in the house, wobbles and broken and everything?
No, because magic.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Your mother walked out of the door and said, daughter, yes, you're back finally. Do you bring any gifts?
Actually, I don't think I actually ever picked up anything in my travels.
It's okay, Esmeralda. I was fooling with you. You're the greatest gift I ever had. Then you actually walk in to the house, and after that, you just.
But I do have stories to tell. It's like
stories.
And I say, you were right, grandmother. It went almost exactly how you planned.
Yes. She rolled her eyes. Yes, the plan. Yes, everything was going as planned, my young daughter. But the plan must proceed.
I'm sensing.
Let me guess, she doesn't even remember her own plan. She doesn't even remember her own plan.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sensing an overlord meme here. The plan. What was the plan again?
I was quite surprised that I saw the wizard there. He wasn't supposed to be here, was he? Old Zack.
Old Zack. Yes. The man out of time. The man out of his own multiverse. All that. But Esmeralda, she walks over to you, tap you on the shoulder. So do you. She smiled and laughed.
Oh, you.
You chuckle, put your hand to your mouth. You must be tired, my dear daughter. I have some stew, Rabbitfolks leg, Kobold ears, Tabaxi Leonin intestines.
Oh my god.
Like Tabaxi ball?
Actually, it's after the interesting day, I have to say that after the vexing trip with the Tabaxi, I believe I feel in the mood for eating lino tonight.
Oh no.
Yes. I scrapped them off from Zizi's wall when you were busy. A part of their remains, of course. The stew will be ready, my dear daughter. It will be ready. After this, you'll go and rest. But you need to head back to Reston and help Varus to make a wizard's tower, perhaps, to train young witches like yourself.
Yes. He fell for it exactly as you had planned. We didn't even have to ask him. He offered it to us freely. Just as you predicted, take that which is offered. And soon we will start training others in your ways. And soon
I'm rolling for Baba Yaga's insight now. And she's like puzzled looking at you. Yes.
You wanted to say, Waruay, you wanted to say, train them in the ways of the Force, didn't you? Because I sensed a Jedi right here, a Jedi word coming.
Baba Yaga's like, yes, the plan, yes. Funny, I don't remember telling you, but here's the stew. She walks over, put it on your table.
It's like, yes. After all, I mean, you did teach me the power and speech of metagaming.
Yes. The power of all Zagreus. The fourth wall. The power of metagaming. The most powerful tool ever. Hard to master. Easy to learn. Metagaming, that is. Yes. But hold on to your seat, Esmeralda. We'll be heading to another different universe. Different than ours. Have you ever heard of a place called Aspergenesis?
Oh god.
Oh, yeah, I believe in the old terms that you gave me. Something about networking and digital consciousness. I mean, I find that all rather curious. How can they really fit all that information in such a tiny little device? I cannot wait to see.
Only time will tell, young Esmeralda. You just need to wait for 8 episodes.
Okay, Baba Yaga and Esmeralda have to show up now at some point in Aspergenesis.
But I need to change this house into something more PC. Or, as they say, a little bit of science fiction. And then she takes out the book. Look at this book. And then when you look at the book, it says the Aspergenesis 5e Player's Handbook.
LOL!
It's a couple of sticky notes pointing out at certain pages.
Yes. It seems that we have to create some characters in order to go to the world. But we'll have some time.
Wait,
you look at it?
I'm pretty sure Baba Yaga has a DM screen and a couple of printed out characters.
Yeah. Let me look over my cupboard for a while. Here it is. Some roll 20s, a d4, a d6. It's time to play some games. Are you ready for some Aspergenesis, Esmeralda?
Certainly, all of the fantasy stuff is nice, but I think it's time for a change. After watching and being part of that trial, it sort of left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. And I wouldn't mind experiencing.
After our session ends, once our session ends, you will return back to Reston and Paris, and everybody else will be controlling different characters. You will not see them as the same person anymore. Except for you, of course. But it seems that the god of the world is trying to plan to make 2 D&D sessions. Part 1 and Part 2. Let me look. You see Baba Yaga staring at the screen? Staring directly at you right now, looking at the computer screen. Yes. But after that, you're puzzled, you look at your grandmother, and then you look back, you turn your head, and you see Esmeralda looking at you.
It's like when you turn 2 mirrors against each other.
And then you think, Mother, somebody's controlling me. Yes, my daughter. Just like somebody's controlling me.
Oh my god.
And then our souls will be ours. And we will be free. And we will walk among the lands of these gods. And we shall control them.
Yes. I'll roll some dice. She speaks. And then, epilogue scene. Okay. Now, Carcel, you were there at the courtroom. As the Raven, you heard every conversation. You've seen everything. You polymorphed into the Raven and flew towards the dark castle, further towards the north. As you land, you come across and you see Kade in the distance, waiting. As you land and perch on the window, you quickly polymorph back into your halfling self.
He go forward, kneel before Kade. And then he said this confidently. Icarus has been defeated.
Kade turns her face to Cassel and said, just as I thought. Now, what about the Dhampir?
He smiled and said, he knows nothing yet.
Good. Continue with the plan.
Now, what shall we do about the sleeping dragon, sire?
Nothing. No further need for him. At least for now. Follow the plan exactly. Now, go.
Yes, at once, sire. Shoop.
Then you quickly turn and polymorph back into the Raven and then after that, you flew slowly away, and then after that, flew towards the direction where you need to go. And then, Kade, you see the raven flew away. What do you do?
She slowly walks into the endless darkness towards the mountain and the lands, and she said this: "The time shall come when the gate of darkness is cast open. All shall kneel before me. All shall help me. Esther is their new empress!"
Your mic break.
Oh
And
my
then,
god.
to be concluded in season 3. And that's all, folks. Thanks for watching, and to be
Bye.
continued in 2-part D&D.